might be able to stay home, brother.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. We'll have a whole lot of bitches jumping shit. You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. Will cause a whole lot of jumping shit. You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. Will have a whole lot of jumping shit.
What's going on, party people? It's your man, 50 Grand, the Godfather, Nate Milton, and you are about to listen to another excellent episode from the Nefarious Media Network. Since January of 2025, we have been putting it down for the crown, and we've been committed to bringing you truthful, thoughtful, turned-up commentary as it pertains to the worlds of sports, politics, pop culture, pro wrestling, entertainment, and life. Yes, life. This thing that we are all just trying to get through day by day. An electric word called life, as the man used to say. And that brings us to the drive for 500. Yes, 500 YouTube subscribers, which gets us halfway to monetization, and 500 Patreon subscribers. Patreon.com/Nefarious Media Network. That's our stretch goal for the year. Because if we hit those marks, it allows us the flexibility and the freedom and the funds, quite honestly, to do some more things here at the network, to be more consistent with our shows, to bring you new shows, and to bring some people on to help with production. So if you believe in us, man, if you believe in what we're doing here, because we got a lot of hardworking people, myself included, working 50, 60 hours a week at the shoot jobs, got families, got kids, got responsibilities, but we still do this, man, because we love this and we believe in this. And if you believe in us and you love the shows that we do, help us out, man. Help a brother out. Help a sister out. That's all we asking, because we are trying to change the game by any means necessary, even if those means may be nefarious.
And now for something completely different.
And welcome to the Kings of Sport, the program changing the game one show at a time, aka iTunes' most dangerous sports show, aka America's longest running sports program, produced and hosted by two or more African Americans who are not affiliated with a major network. What's going on, party people? I am one of your hosts, the Godfather, Nate Milton, and we have a big episode for you all today. Not only do we have things to talk about in the world of basketball, not only do we have things to talk about in the world of video gaming, okay? But also, it's your birthday, America. It's your birthday, girl, you raggedy heifer. So let's not waste any time and start this edition of the show. Let me bring on the co-pilot for this episode. He is the super producer. He is a man who is so prodigious and talented at his craft that many people refer to him as Caitlin Dark, aka the Caitlin Clark of podcast production. So let's bring him out here because I know he is more fired up and ready to go than anybody today to talk about why America is so great. Y'all give it up. You may remember this brother from the National Mall, where he was live on the scene as I corresponded for UFC Freedom 250. He's back, y'all. Y'all give it up for America's favorite son, Ray Williams, a.k.a. Red Hat Ray, a.k.a. Two-Way Ray Williams. What's going on, brother?
Not much, brother Nate. I'm just glad. I think my Independence Day we celebrated in the middle of June, my brother. But
fake news, Ray.
But I'm glad we get to celebrate the 250th anniversary of this great nation, and I think it can be great at times. We'll see. I don't know if we'll see. I'm not trying to make it great again because I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was that great to begin with, but yeah, we're trying to make it somewhat good.
Make America good again. Is that what you're trying to do, Ray?
Yeah, I guess so.
MAGA with a soft G. Maha.
Yeah.
Like, why is the hat still red though, Ray? It's confusing, brother. It's confusing.
It's burgundy.
It's burgundy, yeah.
It's cardinal. It's not red.
At least put an accent over the G, like an N-Y or something. Differentiate yourself, brother.
Right.
Now, I'm not MAGA, I'm Maha. Maha. It's a difference. Making America good again, y'all. But you know what, Ray? Like, there's a lot going on, man. 250 years, as you said, of this experiment. The notion of a nation, if you will, Ray Williams. And there are some things that are constant. The pursuit of life, the pursuit of liberty, and when it comes to basketball, the pursuit of LeBron James. We got lots of free agency news to talk about. The NBA is wilding out right now, Ray. Like, it's ridiculous. So we're going to talk about that. As I alluded to off the top, we actually have some video game conversation to get into, man, because Ray and I are both still, to this day, avid gamers, man. And who knows what else we'll get into on this edition of the Kings of Sport, Ray. But I feel like we do need to kind of start with the guest of honor, this raggedy heifer, as I alluded to earlier, this raggedy heifer named America. She turned 250 today, Ray. So you know, all jokes aside, you were, in the nation's capital, Ray. What are you feeling today as America celebrates its 250th, Ray? Is there any sense of pride in you as a red-blooded American wearing your Maha hat?
A little. I mean, yeah, I do have a bit of pride because I guess I could speak for both of us. We weren't around, or at least we weren't at the knowledgeable age when the centennial, or the bicentennial, I should say. So I guess I feel a little bit of something, but marketing always has to try to capitalize, and now you got red, white, and blue Oreos and red, white, and blue cinnamon toast crunches. Like, what is going on? Like, y'all use anything to try to capitalize and make money off of.
I mean, that's the most American thing of all. That's a fitting tribute, right?
That is true. I think capitalism might have lasted even longer than 250 years, but I digress.
Well, real quick, Ray, because you mentioned the bicentennial, which was back in 76. Neither one of us were around for it. This, not to bring the mood down, Ray, before the party's already started, but this may be our first and last centennial, Ray. Grand opening, grand closing, because I can't speak for you. You went to the gym this morning, Ray. You worked out. You got your sweat on this morning, dog. I slept in because I didn't have to work today. This might be my last centennial, brother. I don't know if I'm gonna be around in 50, dog.
You ain't gonna make it,
but I can't guarantee it.
To 2076.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it to 2076, my boy.
Get you there.
I gotta get there to see America through UFC Freedom 300. I gotta make it, Ray. Make it.
Oh no, I ain't gonna be in the ellipse that day. They gonna have to.
Who is this old man out here hanging around the fights?
Yeah.
Back in my day,
right? I'd be like the old boxing historian Bert Sugar. You're gonna have to drag me out there. Yeah, man. I feel a little bit of something because again, this is a free nation, and I hate when people will be like, well, they got it worse somewhere else, because it's like, well, we got to be happy because other people got it worse. But but for the most part, we're free, quote unquote. It's like I know a lot of people fought before us, a lot of our ancestors and a lot of the elders have fought for us to get here and to make this country what it is, especially as African Americans, when the nation was pretty much built on our backs, or we built it on our backs. And yeah, I do feel pride in the community that I'm coming out of, and feel proud of the people, because we still remain resilient, even though I guess African Americans are the Will Smith to America's Ben Vereen daddy. Why come you don't want me, man?
Well, they want everything about us except for us. They want the cool, they want the swagger, they want the music, they want the athletic exploits, but they don't want us as people with sovereign human rights. But here's the thing, Ray.
Yes.
Because like you, I'm proud, man. I'm proud to be an American.
Which they played at UFC 300, or
yeah, of course they did. Of course they did. Like I bet they played that 2 or 3 times. Well, at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the man who died to give that right for me, and I proudly stand up next to. I ain't gonna lie, Ray. The more I'm singing the song, it's actually a decent song. It's a decent little song, dog.
It's been co-opted.
It has been co-opted, man, and Lee's been co-opted. So
yes,
there you have it. But I think, like you said, you can be proud of a country and still point out the country's flaws, still point out when the country does wrong, still point out when the country's leadership is not doing what it can to make this a more perfect union. And it's like one of my favorite Chris Rock jokes. He's like talking about America and people, particularly black people's relationship with America. He's like, America is like the uncle that paid your way through college all 4 years, but molested you every summer. It's like, yeah, that's a dark joke, but it's a fitting joke, because it's like, yeah, America does grant folks freedom and opportunity and the foundation to do whatever they want to do, Ray. But it does
Mhm.
come with strings attached. It does come with limitations and liabilities. And so, the people that are like, if you don't like it here, you can go somewhere else. And I'm like, why?
Right.
This my home too.
Mhm.
That old song, Ray, this land is my land. Okay. This land is your land. From California to the New York Islands.
Mhm.
From the Redwood Forest to the Great Wood Valley. I just think I mixed up the words, but it's a lot of places in America that you can go to because this land was made for you and me and everybody, Ray. At least
Indeed.
it's supposed to be. So I think there is this kind of juxtaposition that people have when they think about America because, and I say it, Ray, I know we got World Cup fever. I don't got World Cup fever, but some of y'all listening or watching may have World Cup fever. But I know, all these nations is doing their thing. But to me, America is still the best. We still the best. We ain't perfect, not by a long shot. But to me, I think America is still or can still be a land of opportunity, can still be a land of freedom. It's just a question of whether its citizens and in particular the people in charge want it to be that more perfect union, want it to be the shining city on the hill, want it to be a beacon to the rest of the world. And obviously with our current resident at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, we don't have the best world reputation when it comes to foreign affairs, but I do feel like, 250 years, man, America, you did this thing, man. You did your thing, girl. Like you still the prettiest girl at the ball, even if you're the most trifling, the most raggedy. Like America is that friend, and every friend group has this friend. And if you don't have a friend like this in your friend group, either A, your friend group grew up and away from that friend, or you might be this person. But every friend group, Ray, particularly in your 20s and 30s, you got a friend who you can't stand, Ray Williams. Who every time like is Ricky coming? Damn, I hate Ricky, man. But every now and then Ricky do something good, man. And you like, that's my boy Ricky, man. You know what? You all right, Ricky. A lot of times it comes after like you ain't experienced this, Ray, but comes after a long night of drinking and some chaos that ensued, and you'd have made it through the other side, and you like, you know what, Rick, you all right, man. Hey, you all right too, man. But you don't want to hang out with Ricky because Ricky's an asshole and Ricky causes problems and Ricky stir up the pot too damn much and Ricky think he all that and he might be a little bit of that, but he ain't all that. And that is America to the world. Like, America coming, this raggedy bitch. But then when America come to the party and, it's been a crazy party at the end of the night, they're like Germany, like, you're not so bad, America. Like, you all right yourself, Germany. And that's how I feel America is on the world stage, Ray. Like, we're the obnoxious friend, but we're still a friend, or we can still be a friend.
Yeah, I totally agree. And yeah, I think, some years is like we're more friendly than others. It's like some years, why do I hang out with this? You can question your whole life trajectory. Why do I still hang out with this man?
Canada, America be getting on Canada and Mexico's nerves. They're like, we always associated with this dude.
Right.
Like Mexico, you gonna get him straight? No, man. That Canada, you the one, Canada. You got to get him straight. They don't listen to me.
Right. Right. They just try to keep me down here. They don't even want me up there.
They renamed my golf.
Right.
They won't even let me have this golf, cuz.
Right.
America be tripping, damn.
But yeah, like you said, it's a complicated relationship, but we still gotta stand 10 toes down. And again, to reiterate your point, just because we might disagree with some things that go on within the country does not mean we hate America.
Yeah.
That means we love it. We love it enough to want it to improve and to progress and to be better. So
we hold these truths, Ray, to be self-evident, okay? That all men are created equal, right? And when I meet Thomas Jefferson, I'm gonna convince him to put the women's in the sequel work. I don't know how we got on that Hamilton tangent, but yes, like for all these so-called patriots out there, man, if you're really about America and freedom and liberty and justice and the Constitution, then you should be working alongside folks trying to make this country better, trying to make it that more perfect union, instead of keeping your narrow-minded view of what America is and using that as a bludgeon to beat people over the head with it. If you don't like it, you can leave it. Like, nah, that ain't how it works.
Right.
We all need to work together to get this place to where it needs to be.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting. We're coming off a week where the Supreme Court just ruled to keep, at least for now, keep birthright citizenship in place as it is. And it seems like folks who claim to be American has lost sight of what being American truly is. Like, it's a nation not only of immigrants, but also of the indigenous folks and of the folks who were brought here against their will to serve. But it's a nation built up from other people joining us, and that's the reason why we don't, like, English isn't our national language, because we're made up of so many different pieces. And I think when I was back in college, I had a professor, and they had a great analogy. Instead of calling it a melting pot, because a melting pot assumes that all of us are going to assimilate, and for the most part, that's how it's been, like, assimilating to proximity of whiteness, right? But instead of seeing it as a melting pot, we should see it as a mixed salad. And
I know your vegan ass love that analogy. Like, ooh. Tell me more.
I didn't disagree. I didn't disagree. But it's like, instead of trying to melt things down and make it shape to one substance, like a tomato is a tomato on its own, and it can also be a tomato in a salad, and it can also provide a different type of flair and a different type of taste within the salad. Like, not iceberg lettuce. Use romaine lettuce. Step your game up. Use romaine lettuce.
They hit the romaine on them. Spring mix.
Right. You can get yourself, like, some feta cheese if you want. Like some Caesar salad if you want. Maybe if you're feeling froggy, since you're a meat eater, ejectocito cut. You
I was gonna say, Ray.
You're a carnivore, brother.
You
maybe put some grilled chicken in there if you want to. Maybe some steak in there if you want to. I know people like their bacon bits if you want, but we're all different ingredients, and we all still have our own identities outside of being a part of the country. But that's what makes the country so great.
Yeah, like that. Like, I've always had the analogy, and it's similar to what your professor said. But, like, yeah, the melting pot theory, to me, that's one of America's biggest lies, is because America has never been a melting pot. America is not something where everybody becomes homogenized. America is a mosaic where all these different pieces, all these different types of, like, you could have glass in the mosaic, you could have metal in the mosaic, different colors, different shapes, different shades, different textures in the mosaic. But when you step back, it forms one picture, and that's America. And so everything keeps its individuality, but it's also part of the whole. And so that's how I view America. You don't have to completely change yourself to fit into America, because you already fit into America because you're here, man. How about some Australian dairy in the salad? I don't even know what is Australia. I know. Yeah, okay. It took me a second. Yeah. Ray, why is there so much dairy and cream in the milk? Philly boy ass Ray. Philly boy. Why you putting cream cheese in the salad, cuz?
Like, it's more cheese than lettuce, brother.
This is what I call a calcium salad, everybody. Like, Ray, it's just milk and cream cheese and ice cream in this bowl. This ain't no salad, Ray. Philly boy.
Shout out to Mark K 7991 for that. And by the way, you ain't slick, brother Nate. And the number 8 Mosaic with a K at Instagram. Go follow your boy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
You know, hey, it's on brand, Ray. It's on brand, brother. Is there nothing more American than forming your own brand, Ray?
Exactly.
We got somebody in the White House selling shoes and coins and Bibles. I can't have my own name fit my analogy, Ray.
That's true. That's true. I ain't mad at it, brother. I am not mad at it.
But you know, we're gonna pivot from America to talking about one American institution that is the National Basketball Association, Ray. Woo, it's getting crazy up in here. Free agency is upon us. We've already seen some big moves. First of all, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, Freaky Greeky, is now getting freaky on South Beach as a member of the Miami Heat. We have Jaylen Brown. This is the first time in my life I've ever seen somebody get traded for feelings, because there was no reason to make this trade, Brad Stevens. But Jaylen Brown is now a member of the Boston Celtics. And of course, as I mentioned, Ray, it wouldn't be free agency without, look, LeBron like to, every 5-10 years, LeBron give us one of these. First, it was the decision. Then he went to the Lakers. Now, LeBron is like, I'm not going to be with the Lakers no more. Well, who you going to be with, LeBron? LeBron? LeBron James is once again holding the sports world hostage, metaphorically speaking, because we don't know where the king is going to go. Several topics are available up on the board, but it's a lot going on in NBA free agency. Ray, where would you like to start, brother?
Well, I guess we can go ahead and start, like you said, with what was, at least a couple weeks ago, the biggest move, and which kind of possibly facilitated one of the other big moves that happened not too long ago. Let's go ahead and start with Giannis.
Giannis Antetokounmpo goes from the Bucks to the Heat. I think this is one of the rare trades, Ray, where both teams kind of got what they wanted and needed from the trade. The Heat, as we all know, ever since LeBron and Dwayne Wade left that organization, they've been searching for a quote unquote whale, like Pat Riley's always going whale hunting. And he missed out on KD. He missed out on Giannis the first time around. He got Jimmy Butler there, but Jimmy wasn't really a whale per se. They've developed Bam Adebayo, Bam out of the bio, as Kendrick Perkins would say. They developed Bam, but he's not that whale quite yet. And so now they got Giannis, the whale that they've been looking for this whole time, and they've teamed him up with Bam. And some people are saying, Ray, that this could also be a move to facilitate LeBron coming to join the Heat, because the one thing that LeBron is sort of declining in, that we can all objectively see, is he's not the defensive player he once was in his early 40s. But when you got Giannis and Bam in the paint, you ain't really got to be a defensive legend. You just got to play your part. So what did you think about the Giannis move? Because I like it for the Heat, but I also think Milwaukee got a decent return on that trade, not only with the number one picks, but also bringing somebody like a Tyler Hero to that team. I like it for both sides of the deal.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think both teams won in this particular instance. I think Miami, for I believe what they believe their goal is, they're trying to win now. So, like you said, you got two defensive giants who are going to clog up that paint. And you also got Bobby Portis as well, along with the deal. So he's a decent player, but it does shift to being a quite older team than what it was before. And with the Bucks, you got some young up and coming players who could possibly be superstars, and Tyler Hero and Jaime Jaquez. And then you also have some draft capital that you can use. Hopefully you use it wisely. A big thing is going to be if they keep Doc Rivers around as coach. And if they do, if he's going to be willing to go through go through another rebuild, and he's
He's
not
willing to
getting
do what he
younger.
got to do for that check.
What'd you say?
I think Doc will be willing to do what he got to do for that check, Ray.
Yeah, but he's not getting any younger though.
It's
So it's
just
like,
business, Ray Williams. It's business. I'm gonna coach these boys up. I'm Doc Rivers, y'all.
but we'll see, and then just because we know Eric Spoelstra can pretty much make anything happen.
Mm-hmm.
If you give him just some decent pieces, he can make anything happen. So yeah, I think, like you mentioned, I agree with you. This is a good move on both ends. Although you can say, well, then Miami Heat, they have to give up that much, but on the same token, it's like you take a chance and you do your best so that you can win within the next, or as soon as you can win. So
Yeah, this is a win now move, especially when you consider Pat Riley's age. Pat Riley, like,
yeah.
I damn sure ain't gonna be at the next centennial celebration.
Mm-mm.
So we gotta make this happen now, fellas. And so yeah, that's why, you know, you give up somebody like a Tyler Hero, or particularly somebody like a Jaime Jaquez, who I think with some more development could be a starter for 10 years in this league. But it's interesting, Ray, because this is a pretty even trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about a trade that wasn't even at all, Ray. Let's talk about one of the, I will say it, Ray. I don't like to call people dumb, so I'm not going to say that Brad Stevens, who we know to be smart, Ray, I'm not going to say Brad Stevens is dumb. I would just say in this particular transaction, Brad Stevens displayed the characteristics of somebody who is a dumb person, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not calling you dumb, Brad, because Brad Stevens gave up Jaylen Brown, one half of the duo that helped Boston secure another world championship, trades him in the conference to the Philadelphia 76ers for Paul George and a hill of magic beans. What did you think when you heard this news, Ray?
Yeah, and as I alluded to before, I think this was facilitated because I believe originally, and there were a lot of people that kind of speculate on this, Brian Windhorst being one of them, that the Celtics originally wanted to make a trade happen with Giannis and send Jaylen Brown off to Milwaukee, but that fell through. There's been some disputes with other teams as far as the value they're getting for Jaylen Brown, especially with him being still on the Supermax, and I believe having 3 more years on the Supermax contract, which he's making, I believe, at least $58 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think, again, speculation is that Jaylen Brown got frustrated once he did find out that they were trying to move him off and didn't succeed. Then he's like, do they really want me? I think that's our theme today. You really want me, dude? You don't really want me. And so I think there's only so much you can do. And it's interesting because when you go back to the Celtics had a different regime in the front office, but when you go back to Kyrie Irving and him having his frustrations with the team, and then Jaylen Brown being one of the vocal folks that was like, oh, if you don't want to be here, then you ain't got to be here. So it's like now how the turns have tabled when you're putting in a similar position. And I'm sure he didn't want to leave, but I think they forced his hand when he heard, especially with the season that he had, to where we weren't expecting a lot from this team, especially with Jason Tatum being hurt for most of the season. But Jaylen Brown just being able to lead and will this team, at least
he said it was his favorite season, Ray.
Yeah.
Even over the season they won a title in.
Right. And I think I kind of figure out why he said that, and I think he said that because he finally got to, I don't want to say let the chains off, but it was like he was given full reign to be like the number one for a change.
Right.
But
And
yeah,
it's weird with Brown and Tatum though, because I kind of feel like they're two sides of the same coin where they're both 1A, 1B, and depending on the day, those roles are interchangeable. But in the minds of Jason Tatum and probably in Celtics management, Tatum is the one and Brown is the two. But that's not what always showed up on the court. And so, like, that brings you to this trade, Ray, which, again, I feel like this was a trade made off of feelings instead of logic. Because logic would tell you, you said Jaylen Brown has 3 years left under contract.
Right.
There was no pressing deadline that made you trade this man. The only deadline that was there was one that you imposed on yourself, because the secret got out that you had tried to trade this man for Giannis. It didn't work. So Jaylen Brown obviously is going to feel some type of way, and we know his presence on social media, particularly on his Twitch channel. So he's going to talk about it. All you had to do was stay quiet, keep your head down, take the criticism, both from Jaylen, his fan base, and NBA fans in general, about how y'all tried to trade this man, and then keep it moving. Move on to the next season. I think they could have done that easily, right? Or not easily, but they could have done it. Yeah, but they panicked, in my opinion. They were like, this is a bad situation. What is we going to do? And then maybe, I don't know if it was Brad, if it was ownership, somebody was like, we got to get rid of Jaylen. That'll solve it. For what? Yeah. For Paul George. That's the ticket. And Paul George is like, me? You mean me? Go, like, pull that trade back up, Ray. Read to the people what Jaylen Brown, perennial all-star, was traded for.
All right. So all Philly got was Jaylen Brown, and in exchange, Boston got Paul George, a 2028 first-round draft pick, which could convert to a pick swap, a 2031 first-round pick, unprotected, and then they get 2 second-round picks, one in 2028 and the other in 2030. So this kind of reminds me of the deals that Danny Ainge would do in when he was with Boston not too long ago.
Well, the difference, though, Ray, is Danny Ainge was making those deals to get players like Tatum, to get players like Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Brad Stevens, you already got them boys. You already got the foundation. You just have to build around them. And so, like, this to me, Ray, is a move where it's like, are the Celtics going to be competitive? Yes, because you still got Tatum. You still got, a decent bench. You still got whatever Paul George has left in the tank. They'll be in the top 10 teams in the East, probably.
Right.
But this is not going to be a championship contender, which I think you could have built had you still kept Jaylen Brown. This is a move, again, Ray, I kind of feel like it got uncomfortable, and they was like, yeah, you need to leave, Jaylen, even though he didn't have to.
Yeah. I think, though, do you want to take that risk of him staying during the season and then just that seed of distrust? Because I think somebody mentioned, I think I was watching something from either like ESPN, but somebody had mentioned that within his address or within his statement before he went, and we'll get into that a little later, before he went on stream, as you mentioned, but prior to that, in his statement, he didn't thank the team. He didn't thank he didn't thank his teammates. He didn't thank the coaches or the front office. Like, so I think the seed was already.
I want to thank me for putting up with this nonsense all these years. Congratulations, Jaylen.
Just, do you want to continue to have that seed grow throughout the season, and then that distrust amongst him and the rest of the team to kind of fester? And then poor Joe Mazzulla, he just looked lost all the time. So But it'll be interesting, especially with Missoula.
I think Ray, you bring up a good point, but I feel like if that's what you want to avoid, there are better ways to avoid it, particularly if some of these other deals that were rumored were out there. For instance, Boston had rumored, Cleveland was rumored to either be shopping an Evan Mobley or a Donovan Mitchell. To me, either one of those players is better than what you got in return from the Sixers. And so it's like, yes, even if you feel like you have to make a move, it needs to be the right move. And this, like, I kind of feel like this is worse than what the Mavs got back for Luka. No, it's not even kind of worse than what the Mavs got back for Luka. It is worse than what the Mavs got back for Luka, because ain't gonna be no magic ping pong ball that drops down and gives you Cooper Flag this year, the Boston Celtics. So you traded a guy who still got, I would say Jaylen Brown got 5 to 7 productive years left in him at a high level versus Paul George. Hey Ray, spoiler alert, we didn't see the best Paul George we ever gonna see.
Yeah.
And it wasn't last year. It was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
we ain't never gonna see that Paul George again, dog.
Right. I think the Celtics are betting on, hey, I think the rest of Paul George's contract is like 2 years. Hey, and he's still capable enough to be a productive, get you double digits in points and be a solid number 2, number 3 to Jaylen Brown and maybe
Paul
Derek
George
White.
is your number 2. That's depressing, Boston.
Well, I think he might be the number 3 because I think you still do got like Derek White in there, and you still got like Peyton Pritchard, who's decent. Yeah,
rough on these streets. Look, because here's the other thing you're betting on, Ray, with this move. You're betting on Jason Tatum to take another step.
Right.
And I'm not saying he can't, but I feel like Jason Tatum, to me, is a good player. He's an all-star. If Jason Tatum is your first or second best player on the team, as we've seen, you can win a championship. But I think he needs somebody equal or better to him, equal or better than him, in order for you to be a true contender. And I don't see anybody on this roster right now. Yeah, they may make a move. Who knows, Ray? The offseason is still young. But I think, and I hate to say it, Jason Tatum, he'd have ride him his prime in the NBA, Ray. I said it. For those that don't know, man, if you ever seen this documentary back in the day, it was back in the 80s, man, a documentary called Transformers the Movie, okay? It was an animated documentary, which is rare. You don't get a lot of animated documentaries, right?
That's true.
And it told the true story of these robots, right? But they was in disguise from the planet Cybertron. And their leader was this dude named Optimus Prime. And everybody knew he was the leader. It was unquestioned, Ray, because he had the matrix of leadership in his chest. And when Optimus Prime, spoiler alert, was killed in this documentary by the Decepticons, you knew that they was bad because of the title of their name. They was the Decepticons, Ray. When they killed Optimus Prime, the matrix of leadership had to go from Optimus. I think at first it went to Ultra Magnus, and then it went to Rodimus Prime, who was known as Hot Rod at the time. He got the matrix of leadership, and he became Rodimus Prime. And even though he was like a good leader, he was like an all-star, Ray. Rodimus Prime was like an all-star. He put up numbers. He had a bag. Ain't nobody like, man, this dude Rodimus better than Optimus in his prime. You know what I'm saying? It was like Rodimus was okay. He could get the Transformers to a certain level. And I feel like that with Jason Tatum. Like, I don't feel like, particularly after the injury, Ray, I don't think Jason Tatum is going to take another step. He may prove me wrong, but I don't think he's going to be the centerpiece of the Celtics winning a championship in the next 5 years. I just don't see it.
Well, I think a lot of people are seeing the opposite, because I know that there were quite a few people, even before they won the title, and they were just like, well, Tatum has all of the potential to be one of the best players, if not the best player in the league. Like, he has all the potential of being the multiple time MVP. So I think a lot of people do see that he still does need to, or have room to take another step. I think it's all depending on the mentality of Jason Tatum, and whether he sees now that the Celtics are all in on him being the leader of the team. Whether he's going to take those steps to lead the team and to take those steps. And I hate to do this because I'm like, I'm not a Kobe stan, but I know a lot of people are Kobe stans. And so is he going to be able to put the attention to detail like a Kobe Bryant, to where it's like, all right, well, now I have to dig in and now I have to focus. I can't slack around anymore because I did have somebody who was on the same level as me who was helping me out, and we were helping each other out. But now the team is solely dedicated to me, like putting this team on my back. So
and I don't and the rate to that hypothetical, it's two reasons why I don't see that happening. Because I do think Tatum can get better and the team still be a bit of a distance away from winning a title. I think that can be something that happens. Kind of like we saw Scottie Pippen that one season with the Bulls when MJ went away. Like Pip stepped up, but the Bulls weren't really that contender like they had been with Jordan. But I think when you talk about Kobe, we all love Bean, man. I think what helped Kobe was A, that maturation process, but B, the Lakers also went out and got Pau Gasol for a pile of magic beans from the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
And I don't think in this equation, Paul George is the player that Pau Gasol was at that point in his career.
Well, that's the thing, though. I think they could still make moves. And do you think they're going? And that could be a question I pose to you. First off, do you think they can still make moves by the beginning of the season? Is there any strong moves that they can make? And do you think one of those moves involve shipping Paul George? Because we've seen it done before where people they'll get to it. I think it happened with Drew Holiday not too long ago. He got to Portland and it was like, oh, sorry, we're gonna send you somewhere else.
I think you can, Ray, but like the question is what you gonna get in return for Paul George? Because I hate that this has become a Paul George bashing session. Because it's like Paul George at this point is like he all right, Ray. He all right. He's fine. He's like Leo Rush. He's fine. He's fine. And then Andrade just walks up. How you know? He's fine. But I feel like with Paul George, you can get some value for Paul George, particularly if not this year, next year, when you talk about expiring contracts and the value that they hold in the NBA. But I think with the Celtics, the best you're going to do is get some good role guys in exchange for Paul George. And that can help you like fill out your team, but it's not going to, like, I think you do need another star. And whatever you want to say about Jaylen Brown or the way he conducted himself on the streams and whatnot, Ray, like Jaylen Brown was definitely a star. And I think even with some of the friction that people attribute to that partnership, I think it actually made them better. Like it made the team better. It may have impacted each player's individual stats, Brown and Tatum, but I think that friction made the team better because you got two guys trying to be the alpha at the top, and it just drives the rest of the team. So I think Jason Tatum can have a better season this year, Ray, but I don't know if necessarily that means the Celtics are top 4 in the East because right now I don't see it.
Yeah, especially if you look at like the construction of all the other teams going on. There is a question because we did mention Jaylen Brown being on stream, so there was some questions being put out there by some of the usual media personalities, specifically Colin Cowherd saying he's been hearing from a couple of his sources that the Boston Celtics didn't want to keep him around because he feels as though he's the smartest person in the room all the time. To which Jaylen Brown then responds on his Twitch or on the stream, well, that's not really setting a very high bar if I'm trying to be the smartest in a room full of NBA athletes. But then I think he was also saying how I never said that I was the smartest person in the room, and I think they saw his intellect as a threat.
Mhm.
So, what do you think about those reports? If you think that might have been contributing to some of the tension and some of the friction.
I mean, it can, because Jaylen Brown is a smart individual. Like, he's actually giving lectures at universities and things of that nature. Like, he is a smart person.
Yeah.
And sometimes smart people know they're smart. And it can, like, again, it can cause friction. But I would say there is a lot of culture fit in this scenario where, like, does this player, regardless of his on the court talent, fit the culture of what we're trying to build here? And Jaylen Brown, like you said, smart dude, independent thinker, somebody who is tapped in with social media. Like, that can be something that could be a headache for a front office. And we've seen, like, as much as these teams want to say they're progressive and they up to the times, they can also be a bit old-fashioned. Like, this, I think that's part of the reason, switching sports, why Shador has been such a mystery for the Cleveland Browns to kind of wrap their head around, because this dude is, like, super popular in a space where these 50, 60, 70-year-old owners and GMs and coaches don't reside on social media. And so they don't get it. They don't, like, why does everybody care about this kid that we drafted in the 5th round? Like, why does everybody care about this kid that fell so far on draft night? But it's like, this dude is super popular to a segment of your audience on a platform that you're not really tapped into. And so, going back to Jaylen Brown, I think, like, he is somebody who maybe just outgrew the culture fit in Boston. But again, if you see that this is coming on the horizon, Brad Stevens, you somebody that's supposed to be the smartest dude in the room too. You got to see this coming and be like, okay, Jaylen has kind of, like, they've won a championship together, Jaylen and Jason. Like, we've kind of done all we can with this iteration of the Boston Celtics. We got to get max value back for a dude that is a top, what would you say, Ray? Top 10, 15 at least player in the league?
Yeah, I'll say at least 15, yeah.
So, yeah, they got to get back commensurate value, and they didn't with Paul. Because Paul George, we've already talked about Paul George, but also the picks, Ray. Like, these picks, if Philly is good, what's the use in those picks? Even with the pick swap, you're not going to get much value from those picks.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking on Philly's end, I think it's a great chance to take, but then as I was seeing it being explained, I think it's only good for 1 year, and Jaylen Brown, he's not going to be the number one once he gets to Philly. He's going to be, like, maybe the number 2, maybe the number 3 option with Maxey and Joel Embiid.
I mean, Ray.
Uh-oh.
He is going to be, at worst, the number 2 option, because one of them options ain't going to be optioning for the whole season.
Yeah, he's not going to consistently be on the floor. I get that one. And then I know VJ Edgecombe.
VJ on the come up.
Big player. So it'll be
like
interesting.
If Embiid, and it's the biggest if in the NBA, if Embiid can last through a whole playoff run, this team is scary, Ray.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I just think, like, do we see this construction of the team for longer than a season? Maybe. So I think
it depends on the season, Ray.
Yeah, I think they're kind of playing for now as well. Like we were saying with the
I mean, look, if you got Joel Embiid on your team, Ray, and you paying him all that money, you are not only playing for now, you're playing for right now. Like, I'm talking about, like, this minute that we talking right now, because like, you don't know when the brother going to be available.
Yeah, we're playing.
Can we start the season today, Adam Silver?
Right.
He healthy right now, dog.
Postpone summer league. Let's just start playing now.
Like, we're going to play about 20 games right now in July and August, and just put that to credit, like, like college courses, like we transfer. Can you credit these 20 games we play in the summer to the season when Joel ain't gonna be there?
Right. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see it. It just, yeah, I think.
Also, if you Jaylen Brown, Ray, one thing you should never do is give a smart person most stuff to think about.
Yeah.
Because you traded this man not only in the conference to your division rival.
Yeah.
Like, he ain't gonna be dangerous. Like, you don't care. Like, you're like, oh, Jaylen Brown ain't nothing. We'll trade him to one of our direct competitors because that's how little we care about him. You just gave this man a whole season worth of bulletin board material.
And now you not only gotta look at Philly, but then you still got the Knicks like in your division as well.
Whew.
And the Nets are the Nets, but
Right.
Yeah, I think the Knicks and the now you've armored the 76ers as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they even like. I think they'll make it at least to the play-in, but like you said, as far as being top four,
No.
I don't see that happening for Boston.
They barely top four in their own division, right?
Barely, right.
And that's only because the Nets are pathetic.
Yes.
But here's the thing, Ray. That was another big move. But you know what? There was another big move in free agency, Ray, with these trades and whatnot going on because, we're going to go down to Charlotte, right? And when you're driving around Charlotte, sometimes you got to swerve on them corners. Whoa. Because Lonzo and LiAngelo, brother, LaMelo Ball, WWE Raw Hall of Famer, LaMelo Ball. Get that nigga, daddy. Get him. LaMelo Ball is now a member of one of the most unserious teams, and I mean this in the best, most positive way possible, Ray. A member of the most unserious teams in the league, where you not only got Melo, you got Ant Edwards, and you got Rudy Gobert. LaMelo Ball is now a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves. What did you think of that one, Ray?
That was kind of a shocker. I'm kind of happy for LaMelo that he's out of purgatory, aka Charlotte. No offense to any of our Charlotte fans, but it just seems as though they've kind of been treading water. And he's a tremendous player. And also I think bringing him there, I think because somebody told me, well, first off, I thought Mike Conley retired, but then somebody told me he's back, but I don't know if he's back with the Timberwolves.
No, I think he's gone.
He's gone. All right. So in any aspect, I think he's gonna be a good fit as far as being a point guard on that team and being the floor general on that team. Whether or not he's going to be able, and I think he can handle like distributing the ball enough, feeding Ant and getting out the way, and then also like spreading the floor just enough to where people aren't keying in and double teaming and triple teaming on Ant-Man. So I think it's a decent fit. But yeah, as far as with what Charlotte got back, I'm trying to look it up now, but I'm like, I mean, I know Charlotte's always like, I think some people say like, as far as like on some owners is like, as long as I got a team, the team ain't got to be good. Like we could just keep printing money from this merchandise. People still gonna be
talking to the Hornets on. Oh, you got a good team? I got a team.
Yeah,
I got a team, dog. That's all that matters. But here's the thing: I think Charlotte again is, and it's weird because we're starting to see these windows for these teams accelerate so rapidly, Ray, where Charlotte got to the point where they're like Melo's a good player, but A, there are some health concerns when it comes to Melo, but B, I think there's also kind of, is he taking that next step, not with his on the court, but with his maturity, and is he a team leader? And I think they're like, no, not really. So let's see what we can get for him. I think the Wolves are going to be fun, Ray. Like, I'm not sure how much they're going to win, but I think, when you bring LaMelo on there with Ant, like that's going to be a fun little matchup. Rudy Gobert is still holding down in the post. And then sometimes you can have addition by subtraction. And I think that's what happened when the Wolves got rid of Julius Randle, who by all reports was not happy in Minnesota and was actually kind of a locker room malcontent. And so I think bringing this kind of youthful energy into the locker room and teaming that up with Ant, it's going to be fun, Ray. I still think they're maybe in that 7-8 9 range in terms of the Western Conference standings, but they'll be a fun team.
Yeah, and it seems like they've always found a way to get into the playoffs. So I think they're always on the high, especially if you got Ant-Man. I think they're always going to find a way to get into the playoffs. But like you said, with LaMelo, I think the question's been maturity, and I think the same could be said for Anthony as well. Like is he, like, we know he has the talent and he has the build, but like, is he going to take that next step maturity wise to be like, all right, let me hunker down and stop playing all the time and like let me get serious. Like I think he did have some of that series even when he came on board and Cat was there.
Mhm.
And it seemed even in their press conferences, like their post-game press conferences, it seemed like Ant-Man like was the more seasoned, more veteran presence, because it just seemed as though he took to the leadership role so fast, and it seemed like Cat was like fading that back and kind of allowing Ant-Man to kind of be the voice of the team. So
I think Ant wants that. Like we saw it during the All-Star break when him and Wemby were kind of the ones to step up and be like, hey, we're going to make the All-Star break good again. Maha. But I think when you look at damn, they better give LaMelo winter ties as a signing bonus. That's or a chauffeur. How about that? Like you can't be driving nowhere, Melo. Don't be driving to Lake Minnetonka. Don't be driving to none of these places in Minnesota. At WrestleMania ain't coming, so you ain't got to be speeding nowhere, LaMelo. But I feel like when you look at Ant, and this is one of the reasons I wanted the Hawks to do whatever they could have to draft Ant-Man, because I think him and Trey would have been something in that backcourt. But I think he comes in with a natural leadership, even though he is young, even though he does like to play around sometimes. And so I'm hoping he can be a positive influence on LaMelo versus LaMelo bringing out the more juvenile aspects of Anthony Edwards.
Right. So, yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how that goes. But you want to talk about people maturing, Brother Nate? What about another team or another player that was seemed to be one of, if not the best young American players in the league and has had some drama? Throw the grenade. So Ja Morant has been shipped away from Memphis to the Portland Trailblazers in exchange of forward Jeremy Grant and forward Kris Murray. How you feel about that?
They was just like, you need to leave, brother. You need to, we don't care what we get back. You gotta go. You gotta go. But here's the thing, and we talked about this a little bit in the Nefarious Media group chat. Like, I kind of feel like this is the NBA Big Brother program, because they like, look, Ja, you 1 or 2 more incidents from getting kicked out of this whole league. So we gonna send you to Portland for a year or 2. Dame's gonna be your big brother. You follow that man, learn how to be a professional off the court as well as on the court. Get your game back, because it wasn't that long ago, Ray, when Ja Morant was in that conversation for who's the new face of the league. Like, it wasn't that long ago, and then because of injuries, because of off the court stuff, he just kind of had his image tarnished. So, like, I think if Portland is a good place because there's no expectations for this Trailblazers team, and he can just get his game back. Like I said, learn from Dame, man. Like, that's about as good a mentor as you could ask for somebody in Ja's position. So it's not this, it's not the greatest place to go play. What I mean by that is I'm not talking about the city of Portland. I don't need the people of Portland coming after me like the people in Memphis came after LeBron. But in terms of the NBA, like, Portland's not going anywhere anytime soon. But I think from a rebuilding standpoint, it's actually going to be a good place for Ja, I think, Ray.
I think so too. Just make sure there's no gentlemen's, or at least the closest gentlemen's club is like 20 miles away. Don't make sure you stay out of those. But I think this will be a good fit for him for now. Whether or not he's going to stay there long term is going to be a big issue. And it just seemed like Portland has been, over the last couple of years, just been the land of misfit toys. It's like just send Dame back, send DeAndre Ayton up there for a year or so. Let him see if he can be a good fit, and we'll talk about where he might be going or where he did go. Go Wizards, go! And but yeah, I mean, we'll see, and especially with like the whole I don't even know who is their coach, because I know Chauncey. He definitely
it ain't Chauncey.
It ain't Chauncey. So who's the coach up there?
I believe it's Tiago Splitter.
Okay,
as Stephen A. Smith would say, Tiago Splitter. I think it's still Tiago. I might be wrong though.
Well, brother Splitter, it's gonna be like you thought you were earning your paycheck last year. Like, definitely going to be tough handling that, but I think it'll be a good fit. And I think what's that guy's name? Avila.
Denny.
Denny Avila. I think he's been a decent fit up there as well.
Former Wizard.
Oh yeah, I remember. So yeah, like you said, not too many expectations out of Portland, and I think they snuck up on some people last year too. So I think he's gonna make them better. But like you said, I'm not expecting them in a similar vein as the Celtics. I'm not expecting Portland to be a top 4 team in the West.
But you know who made some moves, Ray, trying to be a top 4 team. I don't think they accomplished that goal. But you know, the Lakers have had many different eras, Ray. Back in the 80s, we had the Showtime Lakers with Magic and Kareem and them boys. Then we had the Lake Show. Shout out to that version of the Lakers. Cancun, 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Then we had the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, man. It was cool. Then we had the LeBron and them boys Lakers. And now, Ray, it all comes full circle because we went from Showtime to Snow Time, Ray, because the Lakers have been gentrified. They done paid Austin Reeves all this money. Luka's back in the building. They got Walker Kessler. And they are losing LeBron James. So let's talk about what the Lakers have, Ray, before we talk about LeBron. But the Lakers have like reimagined this team pretty much over the last week or so. Yes, your new starting 5 for the Los Angeles Lakers. I saw somebody on social media say that this was Malibu's most wanted 2, and I'm here for it. No, it's Luka. Don't be hating. I want a white chocolate chip macadamia nut cookie. So yeah, what do you make of some of the moves that we've seen the Lakers do, Ray? And now this is fully, like you could say last year it was kind of Luka's team already, but now it is fully Luka Doncic's team.
Yeah, I think with some of the moves, I don't know if they've been strong enough to at least keep the Lakers in contention, at least putting some decent pieces. Like I'm not too familiar with brother Walker Kessler's game like that. I've heard good things about Dalton Connect. But then of course
Dalton Connect, he like, because it wasn't that long ago they tried to trade this man to Charlotte. And he's like, I'm still standing, still surviving. I made it, fellas.
Right. So and then we all know about our guy Austin Reeves, aka him. But the thing is, we talked about people or players in their health being an issue and them being consistently on the floor. And you could say a similar thing about Doncic. I know he's had some issues last year. I know he did get himself into a good bit of shape, but then there were also some issues with him and his former significant other, and there've been like some custody issues that he's been going through, and that's been affecting his play and also been affecting his health as well. So I think for it to now all be like the load to all be on Doncic's back again, not too far removed from when the load was all on his back in Dallas not too long ago. And you don't really have, I mean, Austin Reeves, it'll get you a good third of the season where he cooking, but but I don't know if he could be that consistent number two. Like, I don't think
that to me is the biggest point of all of this, Ray, because they did make some other moves, like bringing in Colin Sexton, who I think is a sneaky good move for the Lakers. But I think their success, yes, you say Luka has to play a big part in that, Ray, but to me, more than anybody, the Lakers are going to go as Austin Reeves go, because you paid this man all his money. They told me all year last year, Ray, that LeBron was the third best player on the Lakers, and I'm like, is the second best player in the room with us? Because Austin Reeves, like you said, man, like he would have games where he would just go off and look like a top 15 player in the league, but then there'd be stretches where he was just kind of average. He was good to average, and then he was hurt. And so to me, it's like, if you really gonna step up and be the Robin to Luka's Batman, then like we need to see Austin Reeves kind of take that next step and show that he is one of the best, emerging young players in the league. I think this team, like, I like the Walker Kessler pick. He's a good rim protector, and gives Luka some size in the middle, because that's the other thing with this team. They are going to be a liability in terms of defense, particularly in that backcourt with Luka and Reeves. So the front court's going to have to do their part to hold up on the defensive end of things. I think the Lakers are at best maybe the sixth best team in the West. I would put them anywhere from 6 to 9 in terms of where I'd rank them in the West, depending how the season plays out, health and all that stuff. I think it's a good first step to rebuilding this Luka version of the Lakers, but I do think they're going to need another offseason to finally find the right mix of guys for this roster.
Yeah, you did mention a solid pickup with Colin Sexton, who's probably very excited to be out of Utah. I know Ace Bailey like, take me with you.
Ace Bailey like, wait a minute, we can leave Utah? Why didn't you tell me this? Danny Ainge?
I know, right? You tricked me.
You said this is a lifetime contract,
right?
I was like, that doesn't sound right, but Danny knows what he's doing.
But yeah, you're talking about some of the pieces that are on the Lakers, brother Nate, but one piece that is no longer a part of the Lakers and whose future is up in the air right now is one King of Akron, brother.
You don't want to talk about DeAndre Ayton, Ray? You don't want to talk about your big signing?
We could come back. He could be one of the scraps that we could hit, like one of our quick hits that we can hit. But what do you think about LeBron James's future, and where are some of the key places that you think he can land? And like you said, this possible last dance season for him.
Ray Williams. They tried to tell me, Ray, that this was a new generation. They tried to tell me that this was Wemby's league. They tried to tell me that it was all about the New York Knicks. Bing bong. They tried to tell me, Ray. They tried to tell me it was all about Cooper Flagg and VJ Edgecombe and new generation. They tried to tell me, Ray, that time has passed LeBron James. But once again, LeBron James shows, Ray, when he talks, people listen. He like E.F. Hutton, dog. And for those that are too young to know who E.F. Hutton is, it was a commercial. Back in the day, it was a bank commercial. And it was like, when E.F. Hutton speak, people listen. And it was like everybody at the board table, they talking. E.F. Hutton just sitting there. And he's like, well, I think we should do this. And everybody's like, oh, snap. E.F. Hutton just said some shit. When LeBron James says stuff, people listen. So LeBron told the Lakers. So first of all, shout out to LeBron James. I know Father's Day was a couple weeks ago, Ray. But LeBron James, Father of the Year, for getting Bronny that new contract and then bouncing.
Yeah, you gonna just leave him in LA. At least you close to home, Bronny.
You close to home, Bronny. I secured you. Look, I secured your future for at least 2 seasons, Bronny.
Yeah, you on your own.
You're on your own after that, unless I own a team 2 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
So Bronny is staying in LA and LeBron is leaving. The question is where, Ray? Because the first hot rumor that was on these streets was Golden State, where we was going to team up LeBron with Steph, Draymond, Kristaps Porzingis, and Anthony Davis. And I was like, that could be fun. But look, here's the thing, Ray, and not to throw shade at your man's street clothes, but I was like, why would you even like? It's like when they brought Vincent into the NWO. It's like, come on, brother.
Vincent.
Like, maybe he not Vincent. Maybe he like Buff Bagwell. It's like, all right, now you're going too far, NWO. So that was the first hot rumor, LeBron to Golden State, which would be fun. I think like out of all the options, that would probably be the most fun from a purely basketball standpoint, just to see LeBron and Steph, like two of the greats, go on this one last ride together. But it ain't gonna win no championships. The other option that came up, Ray, LeBron, Bam out of the bio, and Freaky Greeky getting together for one last time. The Big Three Part 2 in Miami. That's a rumor that's out there. Another rumor that's out there, which is crazy to me, because LeBron is like, I just got through being on a team with my son. I don't need to come to a team and be nobody babysitter. Is LeBron going to Minnesota with LaMelo and Ant-Man? Like, that could be some crazy stuff. Another option that's been floated out there is LeBron going to Philadelphia, Ray, which is insane. Like, if LeBron go to Philly, give him the title right now, Ray Williams. Put Joel Embiid in bubble wrap to the playoff start and then give him the title. But then the option that I think is probably the most likely, Ray Williams, is LeBron James going home again. They say you can't go home again, Ray. This man gonna do it twice. He gonna go home again and then go home again. Again. Joining the Cleveland Cavaliers with James Harden, with Donovan Mitchell, with Jared Allen, and with Evan Mobley. And I think if LeBron joins the Cavs, who were in the Eastern Conference Finals this year, that puts them right back in the mix with the Sixers, with the Knicks, and with the Heat as the top 4 teams in the East. So it's a couple different places LeBron can go. There's questions, Ray, like, is he going to take the vet minimum, which I don't think he's going to do, but I do think he's going to take a pay cut, but he ain't going to take no damn vet minimum.
Right.
But where do you think he's going, and where would you like to see him go? Because I think those can be two different questions.
Well, where I would like to see him go, where
Washington, he ain't coming to no damn Wizards.
I had that in the chamber. I gave up on that. Where I think he's gonna go, I think he's going home again, like John Legend once sang. I think he's going back to Cleveland. I think he's got a strong core over there with Donovan Mitchell and with I believe well, no, that's telling me somewhere else. But I think he's going, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. We'll see if James Harden sticks around there.
Well, I think Harden, like everything that I've heard from the Cleveland reporting, is James Harden is going to re-sign, but he hasn't signed yet because that gives them flexibility if they do bring in LeBron.
Right. But where I would like to see him go, as I'm looking at this list, and I guess this was a list that Rich Paul, the agent for LeBron James, put together with Max Kellerman on their podcast, which I didn't imagine that being on the bingo card.
Yeah, no, it's actually a good podcast. It's Game Over.
Yes.
Game Over podcast with Max Kellerman and Rich Paul. My only issue with the Game Over podcast, which is more a fault of mine than the fault of the podcast, is like there'll be like 3 or 4 really good episodes, and then the next episode is a good one, but it's like all LeBron centric, and there'll be like 3 or 4 good episodes talking about the league as a whole, and then here comes another LeBron centric episode. So like the last 2 episodes have been very heavy on LeBron, which I get. Like obviously, Rich Paul is one of the most prominent agents in the sport, and LeBron is his most prominent client, so I get it. But it was kind of fascinating to see Rich Paul kind of go through each team and give the reasons why it would work and then the reasons why it wouldn't work.
Yeah. And I could definitely see it working with Cleveland, at least for one more year. Where I would like to see him, as I'm looking at some of these, like, I think if you put him on Miami, again, that just makes the team even a bit more older. And you can't rely on, I know Giannis just started getting into a bit of injury trouble over the last year. So, but he's getting older. So you don't know how many. It kind of reminds me of when you put together, Kevin Durant with James Harden with Kyrie Irving for the Brooklyn Nets, and they only played like a total of 16 games out of the 82 games. So I could see something similar going that way with Miami if he goes there. You do have some young guys to help hold up Cleveland if he goes there. So I could see that. Like you said, if he goes to the 76ers, is game over. Cancel Christmas, as the folks like to say. But where I think would be a fun place, and where I think it would 100% not be an option for him, I see down below. Who's that? LaMelo? Who's that? Gobert? Who's that? Going to Minnesota, like you said, a fun enough team going there, and maybe him being like the team dad there. I think that would be interesting. That's where I would love to see LeBron just be like, where did they get Rich? Why did you put this on the board?
Just LeBron, just every other game, he just yelling at LaMelo like he used to yell at J.R. Smith.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Having to deal with LeVar off the court, man. LeBron too old for this, right?
Yeah, he too old.
LeBron, pass the ball to my son. He never lost.
But that I think
you and me, we the same LeBron. We both basketball legends whose son play in the league.
Right. We both icons in the game.
LeBron James, you want to sign to the big baller brand? Like, well, no, I don't.
But LeBron, don't talk anything about Jason Whitlock, because all he know about is snacks. But I think that would I would only love to see that just for the sheer chaos for him to go to.
Now that would be a fun game or two, Ray. Like I don't want to put LeBron through that for a full season.
But then I also see on here Denver. But like I would love to see him on Denver. So if there was a team that I would like to see him on purely to see how the team would progress, like you said, I think Sixers are in that mix, but I would definitely love to see him go over to Denver and see what they can do.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating because as we saw this last season, Ray, LeBron, for as great as he is, he didn't mind taking a step back when he had to.
Yeah.
And letting Luka and at some points even Austin Reeves get their shine. But then when we saw the playoffs happen and both of those guys were unavailable, it was basically LeBron and a team slightly better than that first Cleveland team he took to the playoffs and to the championship. with Anderson Varejao and them. Like LeBron and a bunch of dudes. Sorry, Rue Hachimura. It was like LeBron and a bunch of dudes for that Lakers team last year that beat Durant and the Rockets in that first round. I think for me, like, again, Golden State is a team that I think would be fun to just see LeBron and Steph, just two old dudes riding out to the sunset. That'd be fun. I think Minnesota would be fun. But I think if LeBron is thinking about going out with a championship, I would limit the contenders to like maybe Denver, but more realistically, I think you got to get out of the West. And I think it's it's Philly, Cleveland, or Miami. I think those are the three teams that give him the best chance to win. And then out of those three, I think if I'm LeBron, if all things are equal, I would say go back to Cleveland.
Yeah. Yeah,
even if Dan Gilbert wrote that slave master letter back in the day, you held up your end of the bargain, LeBron, and won him a championship in 2016, and we'd have seen all the pictures this summer, Ray, with LeBron and them 2016 Cavs having their old man hangover. Vacation. Even Delly got an invite to the party. Delly was out there with him. But
by the way, just a quick aside. He loved himself some Delly, boy. I think I heard him. I think it was a clip of him doing the Mind the Game podcast. I think with Mahershala Ali and Steve Nash, and they were discussing with Mahershala like what was going on, and then I think they were mentioning like some Santa Ana players to come from that school. And then he was like, "Oh, Delly was there. Oh man, that's my boy Delly. He loved himself some Delly." that's his boy.
That one playoff series, that's all he had. It was just like him and Delly, and he was like, "It's you and me, Delly. We gonna do this, dog." And Delly just ran around the court all series long, just chasing Steph. But yeah, I think LeBron going back to Cleveland, particularly like if James Harden comes back, which they say he will. I would love to see a version of this Cavs team where you've got James Harden coming off the bench leading the second unit. I think that could be like give them some depth and some experience coming off the bench. But yeah, like I think I'm not gonna say Cleveland would have beat the Knicks this year if LeBron were there, but they definitely wouldn't have got swept. I think if LeBron is on that Cavaliers team that we just watched, Ray, that series goes at least 6 or 7 games. 6, 7.
Oh, here we go. I get that enough at school. But yeah, I definitely agree with you in that. The only question that I have for you, just to kind of circle it back, is do you think James Harden will be willing to put away his ego? Because I think everybody is noticing that he's closer to the end than the end of his career than the beginning of his career, but I think he still kind of has that chip on his shoulder too, even though his play may not always live up to it. But I think he's still, even with his last few years with the Clippers, he had a respectable run. But do you think he will put his ego aside to be like, okay, I'll do whatever is great for the team, and I'll come off with that second team?
I think we're already seeing a bit of that though, because the fact that he hadn't already re-signed for what he could get, and he's waiting to see what the team. He's giving the team flexibility by not signing already. I think that shows he's a team player. But also, Ray, you mentioned he may have a chip on his shoulder, but he ain't got no chip on his finger. It's a brother that ain't never won in the postseason. In fact, his biggest criticisms come during the postseason.
That is true.
And I think whatever you want to say about LeBron, like, yeah, you can say he's he's got like a below 500 record in the NBA Finals. But you'd also have to say this is a brother that went to the NBA Finals 11 straight years, something that we ain't ever seen before. Right. This is somebody who has always showed up in the playoffs. And I feel like if you James Harden, you're not going to make that concession for everybody. You're not going to make that concession for Paul George to throw more Paul George slander on the street, Ray. But you're going to do it for the king, dog.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially it'd be different if this was happening in Houston, or if this was happening in Brooklyn, or if this was happening in Philly. But this is happening in Cleveland. So, like, even if it ain't his team, it's always his team as long as he in the league, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. And one last question before we get off this topic. Do you think this is the final year, or do you think he'll last maybe a second year?
I think in my gut, I feel like we get 2 more years of LeBron.
Okay.
I feel like this next year, particularly if he goes to one of those contenders, this next year is all about we got to win the chip.
Yeah.
And if they do win the chip, he may retire or he may come back for the farewell. Like, he's getting a farewell tour.
Oh, yeah.
Like, one thing we know about LeBron James, like, he's a great man, but he do love him some LeBron.
Yes.
And so we getting the farewell tour. He ain't just going to be like one of these dudes just like, all right, guys, I'm just going to leave. I'm retiring. He's going to be like, all right, everybody, I've had a long, hard think about this, and I've decided this is going to be my final season in the NBA. Like, he gonna let us know when it's his final season. And I think we're going to get this season coming up, and then we're going to get the farewell season wherever that takes place.
Yeah, I think so too.
But
And
Ray,
with that, yeah.
you know, LeBron, people say LeBron, you know, is one of these American heroes, one of these American icons.
Indeed.
There was another player from LA that left his team. And some would say there's nothing more American than running away from your responsibilities, allegedly.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kawhi Leonard is a Raptor again.
Yeah.
And in my mind, Ray Williams, it's not because Kawhi loved Toronto so much. It's because, hey, man, that extradition don't cross the border, cuz. Like there's still an ongoing case with whatever went down with Kawhi and his business association in LA.
Yeah.
I think Kawhi was like, it's time to go, guys.
That's that laugh, but
That laugh is still the craziest thing in the world.
What?
Like, normal human beings can't even replicate the laugh because it's like that was AI before we had AI. Like, Kawhi was like, Siri, people say I don't have a personality. Can you create a laugh for me?
Like, no wonder why you don't talk that much.
Kawhi Leonard is now a Raptor again. And it's on paper, Ray, not a bad looking team. But I do kind of feel like this is basically Kawhi. Like, where's the furthest place I can go to get away from this heat that isn't Utah?
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's like, are they really going to do anything? Because I think it's all going to mainly fall on the owner. It's like, but then I think I saw some people. I think it was Dan Lebitard. He was having a conversation with Pablo Torre.
Pablo Torre been on their ass, man. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, as Kendrick Perkins would say,
right? Yeah,
he broke the story on Pablo Torre finds out, and he's been all over it. As Kendrick Perkins would say, Pablo Torre been on their ass. Like, prepare back pockets, Ray Williams.
Yeah, he has been on them, but yeah, I think just the what's the owner's name? Saul.
In Toronto or in LA?
In LA.
LA is your man Ballmer.
Steve
Ballmer.
Yeah,
Microsoft
Steve Ballmer.
dude.
There it is. Yeah. So I think they were kind of going back and forth. Like, Dan was just like, hey, you gotta hold the owner accountable. You gotta hold Ballmer accountable. And I think it was Pablo and it was who is it?
Amin.
El Amin, yeah.
Amin El Hassan, yeah.
Amin El Hassan. There's oh my, these names, bro. So many names. But yeah. Amin El Hassan. Yeah, Amin El Hassan. Yeah, they were on the side of so. Geez, I'm all over.
Get it, man. 20 different names.
Amin.
El Amin, El Hassan, Hassamines. No, Amin El Hassan actually, yeah, like Amin El Hassan is like low key one of my favorite people to hear talk about basketball, just because he's got that knowledge from being with the Phoenix Suns and being a front office person. But he also kind of relates it to what the players think when they make these decisions.
Right. But yeah, I think Dan was on the side of we need to hold him accountable because Dan, he's always like emotional and he's all like right is right and wrong is wrong. But then Pablo and Amin were just like, yeah, but they already hold him up as being like the standard of the league, and it's like, well, it's like they're gonna give him a slap on the wrist because he's pretty much got the most money out of any single owner in the league, and so if you try to fight it and give him a punishment, he's gonna send his lawyers after it, and then it's
plus compared to the last Clippers owner, he's a saint.
Exactly, and that's why I think the point that that was the point that Pablo and Amin were making is just like, hey man, we'll let him off for this, but then
at least he ain't Donald Sterling, cuz.
But then Dan would kind of retort back and be like, well, Donald Sterling was a racist, but that had nothing to do with the integrity of the game. This had something to do with the integrity of the game. Like these Bamas actually cheated. but then Amina and Pablo was like, potato.
right.
It's all good.
It's all good, brother.
Yeah, it's funny to see that dichotomy, but I think with most of the heat being on the owner, I think Kawhi is just like, oh, I'm glad I'm glad I'm out of it. Like I'm far away. So I don't think he has much to worry about. I think it's mainly going to be an issue with the Clippers. Because he's just like, hey man, they were just gonna pay me anyway, like whether they were on the apron or not. So but it's not my problem.
Boy, so I was like, I'm out of here, fellas. Like, I don't know what you're gonna do about this whole situation.
I'll see you. I'll see you later. See you later, Steve.
Like, Kawhi, aren't you gonna stay?
I can't. Like you said, no human can replicate that.
No, it's impossible. It's impossible. Like Jay Farrow, some of the great impressionists of all time couldn't do it.
He couldn't. But it's interesting too. It's like you spent all this time wanting to go to LA. Get there, you don't get no ring. We're talking about people with no chips on the finger, right? You don't get no rings there, even though you do have one with Toronto. So now you're like,
and he got one in San Antonio.
Oh well, yeah, that's true.
But the crazy part is he didn't really like Toronto the first time he was there.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting to. Is like now you're going back to your ex who you didn't want to be like. You had the opportunity to be with them long term. It was like, nah, I don't want to be in a commitment, and then you immediately go and marry somebody else across the country and in another country, and now you just coming back because that didn't go well for you.
Because now the feds is looking around your marriage. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to. I really love Toronto this whole time.
Right.
It's been a dream of mine to play with Scotty Barnes and them.
So, yeah, well, I don't know, man. I don't know, because we talk about street clothes, like, although he has been consistent for maybe like the last couple years or so, as far as staying.
He's been a little bit more durable lately.
Yeah, a little bit more durable, but yeah, I think, as I said for James Harden, I think the end of his career is approaching much more rapidly than the beginning of his career, or we're closer to the end than the beginning. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with him and whether he'll be able to contribute. I don't want to put again. I don't want to go back to your Paul George slander. Yours it is all you. But Like, I want to put him in that vein of a Paul George, where it's like, he's a capable player, but he's not what he once was. But I think it's safe to say he definitely isn't at his prime. So
No,
yeah,
he's more like and some would argue like his whole career he's kind of been like great value LeBron.
Yeah,
and so like I think even at this age, Kawhi is still a really good player, much like LeBron, but he's just not as good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so as well. So we'll see what happens.
A lot going on in the MNBA, Ray. A lot going on in the MNBA.
Yeah, and by the way, DeAndre Ayton plays for the Wizards now. So whatever.
Yes, and somebody break up the Wizards. They too tough now. They got Trae Young, they got a Frenchman, they got DeAndre Ayton, and they got street clothes. This is the Avengers, brother.
A Frenchman. There you go. Your hate against France again. But no, because I'm trying to think like.
Well, and you did get AJ. You got AJ this year in the draft. So
yeah, I'm trying to think though. Why would you, unless you are planning? Because I've been hearing rumblings that the Wizards front office loves Anthony Davis, not Antonio Davis. I'm going back, but Anthony Davis. Like, I'm hearing the Wizards front office love him, but then you bring in Ayton, and Ayton, he's got like an ego, and again, talking about maturity, he's got some issues as far as maturity and as far as staying healthy and doing what he needs to do and taking up responsibilities in that aspect. That's why he got booted from Phoenix onto Portland, and Portland, he did okay in Portland, but it's just like, are we keeping it? Are we keeping AD, or are we shipping AD? Because like we were talking about during the draft when OKC picked up the center from Michigan, and they were like, oh, they're looking for Chet's replacement. So now I'm like, you looking for AD's replacement already? Like what are we doing?
I don't know if they're looking for his replacement, but they know he ain't gonna play all them games, right?
Yeah.
Somebody got to play center when AD get hurt, or you can move AD. You can move AD to the 4.
Yeah, because we know AD does. He prefers
to play at the 4.
Yeah.
But you know what? One more thing about LeBron. Again, there is, besides the nostalgia, besides 2 kids from Akron cutting it up with him and Steph, there is one more advantage, Ray, to go into the Golden State Warriors, man.
Oh, what's that?
You just had this great draft,
and
you drafted this great rookie player. Comes with a great family, particularly a great mother.
Oh, here we go.
Help raise him up. That might convince me to be a Warriors season ticket holder, Ray. I'm gonna move across the country. I'm just going. I got to be there for LeBron's final season, Ray. That's the only reason I'm doing it.
That's the only reason. Yeah,
That's the only reason. I'm not just
nobody's parents or
sit next to nobody's parent in the family section. Like, how did he get here? Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm with LeBron and them. I'm LeBron cousin from Cleveland. But anyway, Ray Williams. I forgot my boy's name. That's why I didn't mention his name, because I didn't want to mispronounce it, but I forgot my boy's name.
Oh, yeah, I didn't forget too.
I know it's like Yaha. Yaxel. My boy Yaxel.
Yeah, Yaxel. Yeah.
Yaxel Milton on these streets. Yeah. You ain't got to take my last name, Yaxel. Do what you want to do, brother. I just want you to be happy, Yaxel. It's about you, brother.
Yeah. Your mother to be even happy.
I did find out, all jokes aside, like, she's a cancer survivor. So shout out to her.
Oh, shout out to her indeed. Yes.
They do have a fascinating story, all thirst aside. But speaking of thirsty, Ray, the people been thirsty for months because we ain't hit the music for him one time. So Ray, let's go from the MNBA to the W. Hit the music, brother.
Hang on. Still looking. Did I take it off? I didn't take it off.
Wow, the patriarchy.
The
misogyny, Ray. You got rid of the WNBA intro music?
No. Oh, here we go.
All right. Ray, let's go from the MNBA to the WNBA. Hit the music, Ray Williams.
It's time to talk about the fastest growing sports league in the world today. Welcome to the W. It's the WNBA Spotlight, presented by the Kings of Sport.
Hey, ladies in the place, I'm calling out to you. I never was a city kid, you were in super. More to me than you'll ever know. And I got more hits than Sarah.
All right, Ray. We back on these W streets. And there's two big topics I want to talk about, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
The first one involves a frequent topic in our WNBA discourse. That is one Caitlin Clark.
Oh.
The second is season 2 of the Nefarious Media WNBA League. So let's start with Caitlin Clark, Ray, because as things are wont to do in the WNBA, conversation, particularly from the mainstream that don't really cover the W like talking about it, revolves around Caitlin Clark getting into a dust up on the court. We saw Alyssa Thomas hit it with the 1-2, and that has started a new round of Caitlin Clark discourse. Ray, what are your thoughts about the foul itself and then the conversation coming out of that game?
Well, I think before we even talk about the foul, we got to talk about everything that led up to it. I think they played earlier in that week against each other, the Mercury and the Fever.
Yes.
And I think we were talking about, well, we all know, and I think we mentioned this last year when we were going into our maiden foray into the WNBA, being a WNBA friendly podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about how much drama is in the WNBA, and specifically we were noting how teammates can also be teammates in life and love.
Okay.
Right? So we got into a bit of a shoving match between Caitlin Clark and DeWanna Bonner. For those who are not aware, DeWanna Bonner is one of the star players on the Phoenix Mercury. One of her teammates is Alyssa Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And not only is Alyssa Thomas one of her teammates, but they are romantic partners.
Okay.
And they have been for a while. So we see them get into kind of like a pushing and shouting match, and Caitlin goes, "What the F is your problem?" And then we see Alyssa get involved to try to break them up and try to separate them. And then Maisha Hans Allen from the Fever starts jawing at Alyssa, and now they're going back and forth. And then randomly, Sophie Cunningham is just pointing her finger at people's faces, instigating.
As Sophie Cunningham is wont to do.
Yeah, indeed. And so we got like this big pull apart reminiscent of when baseball players have like a big hullabaloo when they all run to the mound and they all about to get into it. It was similar to that, but it didn't get to Malice at the Palace levels, thank goodness. But everybody got separated and fouls and texts were issued out. And so we thought, all right, maybe everything has settled on. So fast forward into the second game that they played. I think Caitlin has the ball. I think Alyssa Thomas is trying to play defense and strip the ball. Caitlin slips and falls, Thomas comes down, and as she's trying to strip the ball, she comes down. And if you put the video on pause, brother Nate, then yes, it does look bad if you pause it right there. And her fist and her wrist are against the neck of Caitlin Clark. So it does look bad from that point. But then if you play it in full speed, brother Nate, she's going for the ball. It looks like she's just falling, trying to brace for impact, and her hand just happens to be on her neck, but it was like for a split second. And then she's not even looking to place her hand down. So it's not like she's intently trying to like punch her or mush her with her fist.
Right.
So they did not call that foul at the time, but after the game, the referee committee ends up issuing a flagrant foul after the game to Alyssa Thomas, and she was suspended for a game because of that particular action. And so, like you said, there are a lot of people who are only Fever fans because of number 22. And they are of the fairer complexion. Who, of course, they got to bring their capes out, brother Nate, and they're like, "Oh, this," especially a gentleman who we mentioned on the parlay not too long ago. Again, living up to his name and pretty much giving up the game in Boomer Esiason. And he's essentially asking for the WNBA to have special treatment for Caitlin Clark, since she's one of the star players and, as he put it, quote, a straight white woman, quote. So now you're just giving up the game. Like, all right, now you're just going straight into the racism. You were dabbling with the racism,
right?
Abdul Carter and Jackson Dart, but now you just going fully race. And again, I will not claim you as a fellow Terrapin anymore, Boomer and Science.
Also, Sabrina Ionescu sitting there like, what about me, Boomer?
Exactly.
What about me, dog?
So
I like men's.
So that's pretty much the I like men's.
I like men's. Men. I'm not gay no more.
So then fast forward, I believe it was a couple days ago. It was either yesterday or no, I think it was around Wednesday or Thursday. And Clark came out because she has been suffering from a back injury, so she has not been playing for the last few games, and she will not play tomorrow. But
yeah, she really didn't hurt my fantasy team. I'm disappointed in you, Caitlin. You gotta suck it up, dog.
Why couldn't you get hurt when we were playing? But you
gotta suck it up, dog.
Put some Novocaine. Like, don't get what's your name? What's his the one who was getting like a shot and then got jabbed in the liver? Like Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, don't get his doctor, but get somebody else. Put like some Novocaine or something in your bag. You'll be all right. you can make it to what the All-Star game is like the 25th, right?
Yeah,
more weeks in you, Caitlin. Come on now, tough it up, Kate. But she actually came out to speak with the media, I believe, again on either Wednesday or Thursday, to address the issue. She felt that the call for the flagrant foul was justified, but she also feels as though the officiating needs to be better as a whole, which I agree with. And she also mentioned that no one deserves to get treated with any type of hate or vitriol on my behalf or any other person's behalf. Like, she does not stand for other players receiving hate, receiving death threats and all that stuff. So it's good that she's standing up for that again, especially with with her fan base in particular.
Right.
And then she did clarify that she will not be playing on Sunday coming up. So that's pretty much That's pretty much the story of the ever evolving cateration and holleration all up in the dancery.
So Ray Williams, here's the thing. I mentioned Caitlin Clark is, one of the team captains of my team, in our fantasy league. So I expect a lot out of Caitlin, man. And I think she said the right things at a press conference, but again, it always feels like she is reacting
to
these things instead of being proactive. And I wish that's the one piece I wish that we would have seen from Caitlin, not just this season, but like going back to the first season. She was in the WNBA, just cutting these folks off at the pass and like, hey, this ain't what I stand for. This is not what I'm about. I'm here to hoop. I got respect for everybody in this league. It's a physical league. This is what it is. And so when she doesn't say that, it gives folks time to run with theories. And like you've seen online and social media, like people saying like this is equivalent to Eric Garner or George Floyd, which is just stupid and ridiculous and racist. And it's like, like was it a foul? Absolutely. Was it a flagrant foul? Your mileage may vary on what a flagrant is, particularly in this league, where one of the hallmarks still, even though they're trying to get it out of the league a little bit, Ray, is this is a very physical league. Like this is the most 90s basketball you will find unless you go in the time machine and go back to the 90s or just turn on some 90s basketball clips on YouTube. This is the most 90s basketball you will see out there that's being played because the NBA don't even get down like this anymore. The NBA has kind of legislated all of that toughness out of the league to a certain extent. But in the W is still part of what goes on a nightly basis. Like we've seen Angel Reese take hard fouls. We've seen Paige Beckers take hard fouls. Like we've seen all these players take hard fouls, and it is what it is. But with Caitlin, it's different because of the baggage of the fan base that she brings with her. And that's not her fault. Like, we've said time and time again, Ray, we respect Caitlin, man. Like she a dog. We love what she brings to the game.
Right.
But there are a lot of people that say they're supporters of Caitlin Clark who do not care about women's basketball, who do not care about women's rights, who do not care about women's sports, who do not care about gay folks, who do not care about black folks. And they use Caitlin as an avatar for they hate so they can get their takes off. But then you've also got people in the media, particularly men like Stephen A. Smith or Emmanuel Acho, who are still being educated about this league and don't know how to talk about these topics. And so that like adds flames to the fire, if you will. My big thing with Caitlin, though, is you got to check your peoples. And I'm not just talking about her fans. You got to check your girl, Sophie Cunningham-Williams, over there on these streets. Because Sophie be stirring up the pot on the court and in the social media space. And so, like, I think Caitlin's trying to walk a very fine line where she does have this big fan base, Ray, and she is a very influential player. But she doesn't want to alienate her fans, but she also doesn't want to co-sign everything her fans says or fans say. And so it's kind of a weird place that she's in. And I feel like if she had kind of come out on the front end and said what she's about, then maybe that would have nipped some of this in the bud.
Yeah, I think so too. And like like you mentioned, she's always on the reaction tip and never getting proactive and ahead of everything. And then a lot of this, like, we know, Caitlin, you ain't got to lie. We know you be flopping. And so and we know that you exaggerate things. So we know Thomas' hand wasn't on your neck like that, but you were just playing it up to get the call. And so, but yeah, I just think, should she have put her hand on her neck to even brace herself? I think that was out of the way. But like you, do I think
there were other body parts you could have used to get yourself up, ma'am.
Right. Or
why not my shoulder blade?
Yeah. Put the hand, like your hand is that much closer to the flow. You ain't
right. Use the floor. Use the inanimate object.
Right. But do I think it was a flagrant? No, I don't think it was a flagrant. But like you said, it's just a lot of people operating out of bad faith. You got the Dave Portnoys of the world who operate out of bad faith, and who don't really care about the sport in particular, but in your eloquent wordage, use it as an avatar. Use Caitlin as an avatar to espouse some of like the worst ideas possible about the sport. So hopefully this gets better, because there are a lot more hateable people in the league right now. They're spectacular players like Olivia Miles, who's just coming off the bat, like coming right out of college and just taking over the league. And like she was like, hey Fee, you don't even got to come back right now. This my team now.
See,
I'm the captain now.
I call Olivia Miles, I call her Moon Girl, because she looked just like the Marvel character Moon Girl, who like one of the smartest characters in the Marvel universe. But the Minnesota folks, they started calling her the Spectacle because of the glasses she be wearing on court. And I'm like, that's a cold name, the Spectacle.
Like, it got double meaning to it. I like it. But then, like, even her, she be jawing at people and then try to get on the post game press conferences to be like, well, I never started. but then it's like this brother I forgot his name too, but I've started following him because he's been keeping up with WNBA, and I just love his take on things. He looked back on it and it was like, wait a minute, you said you started, but then when you joined at somebody, like I think it was JC Sheldon, she called her a BA in ninja. It's like JC ain't got nothing. It was like, please don't call me that. That's all she said was, please don't call me that. And Olivia just kept calling her that.
And it's like, you know what? Like, I mean, one of the rare times I will agree with Sister JC on this one. Like, you call me a lot of things, but don't call me that, because I don't want that word associated with me, because somebody might read into it the wrong way.
Exactly. And I can't tell you. All I can say is, please don't call me that. And
right. I can't even say what you called me
now, huh?
and Olivia just looking at her like a Delroy Lindo. Go out and say it.
Say it.
No, you want to. Say it. Like, no, Olivia, I don't want to say it. Sophie might, but I don't.
Exactly.
We're not a monolith, Olivia.
So I think there are players who are out there that kind of had the chip on their shoulders as well. And
honestly, Ray, Caitlin, I think she may grow into it, but I think the time right now is past for what I wanted to see Caitlin do, which was become the new DT. Like, we hate you, but it's a hate based out of love and respect.
Right.
And that's not where we're at with Caitlin right now. Like, a lot of the WNBA fans, particularly those that have been here since the beginning, they are in the place where they don't hate Caitlin per se, but they hate what Caitlin brings to the table in terms of some of her fan base. And so it's not a fun kind of hate. It's not a hate where, like, when we used to hate on DT was in on it, and it was fun. And it was like kind of like hating Bill Laimbeer back in the day. It was like, oh man, I hate that SOB Bill Laimbeer. And he's like, I know you do. Or Christian Layton or somebody like that. But you love to hate him, and they played into it. Like, that's kind of where I wanted to see Caitlin get to, but I don't think she can until she get rid of some of these fans.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think the way that her fans see her, I think, is a way that the rest of the league sees a Paige Beckers. Where they're like, no.
Talk about Uncle Niecy.
It's like, this girl is the truth. Like, you were mentioning Diana Taurasi. Like, this girl, I think, can be in the mold of a Diana Taurasi who she got that dog in her, right? And she could back it up. Like, she could talk her talk and she could back it up. So but I just don't think Caitlin built like that.
No, Caitlin, and here's the thing, because I think Caitlin's game helped make her a star, but I don't think Caitlin has a star personality. Like, like you could say she's a better player than somebody like Angel Reese, but Angel's a star. Like Angel has that personality to wear the mantle of being a star, whereas Caitlin just want to hoop, man.
Yeah,
She's a little farm girl. She just want to hoop, dog. She don't want to be dragged into these conversations, man.
yeah. The extent of her fame, she want to go. She just want to do these State Farm commercials and just get on out the way. That's all she want to care about. Make this State Farm and this Gatorade money.
Can I live? Can I just put on my new blue shoes and talk to Jake from State Farm? Can I live? I ain't nobody say I'm not trying to be nobody's hero, but here's the thing. In the absence of you stating who you are, people are going to create a narrative around you.
Right.
And when you got somebody like Portnoy and Barstool, who is on one hand lifting up you and Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull, calling y'all Trace Leches and everything. I know Ray bought the T-shirt. When he is lifting y'all up on one side of the coin and then also calling players in the league monkeys and trash and thugs, like that's not who you want to be speaking for you and speaking on your behalf.
Right. Definitely not. So we'll see once she returns to play if things change with the officiating. And I wonder if she could. Well, I guess you could get away with that without getting fined. Just be like, I just think they need to be better. But knowing your girl Kathy though, she was $10,000. Like, no. All it says, I want them to be better. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Caitlin if she.
You know what, Ray?
But real quick, I did want to mention, like she did mention when she was talking to the media that she's only 24. So well, I will see if like we mentioned before with the MNBA players, if that maturity can sink in with her, where she can go ahead and step up more proactively than reactively.
She need to go to like a Diana Taurasi boot camp. Just spend a month, spend the off season with like move into DT house and just Camp White Mamba. Like, you know what, Ray? Here's the thing. This may sound racist, but it's been out of a spirit of love. I kind of feel like I would love to see that reality show where it's like Camp White Mamba and you got Caitlin, you got Paige, you got Sabrina, you got Marina, you got like all the white stars in the NBA, in the WNBA going to. Sophie can't come through. Sophie's not invited.
No, I don't think. No, well, you want the drama though.
That is true. We do need the ratings. We do need. Yeah. So Sophie be like the first one eliminated. Like we got her for like 2-3 episodes before she get eliminated. But yeah, Camp White Mamba, and then like every week we'll bring in like a special guest white vet. Like 1 week it'll be Sue Bird, 1 week it'll be Rebecca Lobo, even though she got like a little season on her. I don't know exactly what Rebecca Lobo is all the way. We'll bring in Stewie to come talk to the white campers.
Elena Deladon, maybe.
Elena Deladon. Look, and then for the season finale, we're gonna go to the OG of OGs. We're gonna bring in Nancy Lieberman Klein, cuz.
Oh,
gonna bring in Nancy Lieberman on these streets. Camp White Mamba coming to CBS this fall.
that show
followed by Byron Allen.
That show gonna get more ratings than Survivor and Amazing Race combined.
Coming up next, the cast of White Mamba.
It don't get no safer than that to have them on late night.
Like Courtney Vandersloot, what are you doing at Camp White Mamba? Camp White Mamba. All right, Ray. So you talked about the WNBA officiating needing to get better, Ray. But you know what? When progress is made, it needs to be recognized. Because Ray, you had the sorriest WNBA fantasy team we have ever seen. Like you were just starting injured players for no reason, Ray. You said that O standing next to their name didn't stand for outstanding; it stood for out. They ain't playing, Ray. They hurt. That is. Ray had a terrible season last year, but you done bounced back, Ray. You're not in the bottom no more, Ray. You in the middle with me. So let's talk about our fantasy league real quick, dog.
Indeed. So speaking of, we actually this past week, you and I were teamed head to head, and I can say this now because I want you to succeed when it comes to not playing me. So I can say this now, brother. You left a lot of points on the board, brother.
I did.
Because I think had you would have had a few people off the bench, like I think it was the one night you had like 3 players who scored like combined 70 points. It was another night you had one player who had like 30 points, but they were either on the bench or still on your IR. So I'm like should I was thinking of the sportsmanship commercial. I'm like, I ain't stupid. I ain't gonna tell
you ain't Tony. The ball was off me, coach.
I'm gonna tell you after the game. I agree, the ball was off me.
After we get this dub, yeah, the ball was off me.
I totally agree, brother. I had to act. I had to do my Caitlin Clark on the floor, but I do agree. But yeah, I was able to turn it around. Like you said, the O is not for outstanding or so I was able to turn it around. I had like a good solid team. Like I wanted to make sure because I knew like the guys who had the top picks, like Jay, like I said, I knew Asia was gonna be gone.
Right.
I knew your Nisi was gonna be gone. So I had to I knew Caitlin Clark was gonna be off the table. So I had to make sure that I at least had a solid squad, not just with one superstar and then like a bunch of other people, but like a good variation of players. And I think my first pick was Aaliyah Boston, and she's been stepping up for me huge. And I've also been lucky to not have any injuries. Any major injuries. I had a few people get hurt here or there. Like I think Kiki, she got hurt for a little bit, but then she was able to return to play fairly quickly. So yeah, I had a decent squad. Like I said, I got Kiki Iriafen and Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, teammate on the Fever as well. Folks, you should be focusing on the Fever for not just Caitlin, but also Aaliyah.
Folks that should have made the poster instead of Sophie Cunningham.
Exactly. See, and I know we should have, and I'm sure we got some time to get into that too, as far as like the 30th anniversary. And I think a lot of people are like, "Where's Caitlin?" And I was like
they were mad Angel was on the poster, but not Caitlin. And my thing was, if you're gonna be mad at anybody, be mad at Sophie.
How's she on there?
Same team?
Like over Aaliyah Boston, over Kelsey Mitchell?
Right.
Come on now. And then I think somebody was saying, oh, because they didn't have the name, image, and likeness rights for Caitlin Clark to put her on there. But I'm like, you can make anything else happen, and you couldn't make this happen for this doggone poster.
Right. That's
like
the
I
real
said,
postonomics.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I got Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston along with Kiki, and then I was able to make some moves during the season as well. There's some people who were coming out here who I didn't even really know of like that. Like I brought my girl Janelle Salon because I know she could put in work. I got my girl Kalia Copper back on these streets because I know she is always good for a good 15-20 points here and there as far as like 15-20 scoring points. But then I lucked up. So Kia Stokes from the Golden State Valkyries. She has been killing it. I think last week she had a game where she had 7 blocks. I'm like, go ahead, Kia. I didn't even know. I was not like a Shaq. I was not familiar with your game, Kia Stokes. And that she's just been tearing it up. I think she scored 23 for me, like 23 fantasy points for me. I think today, because she had like 2 blocks and 3 steals. So I'm like, go ahead. And then steals, I didn't realize steals and blocks are double points.
Yeah, you know, we pride ourselves on defense in this league, right?
Indeed. So I think I've been staying afloat, and I was like, let me just see if I could get a dub on Nate. I think it's gonna be tough. I'll see if I can get a dub on Nate. Once I get a dub on Nate, I get over. This is my first time over 500. So
in 2 years, Ray is finally over 500.
Right.
The milkmaids are out of the cellar.
It took a while. And now, of course, I had to run into the juggernaut of Martin.
Yeah, it's over,
Martin
Ray.
Bushby.
You ain't winning that one.
I don't know, man.
Martin Bushby, what is Martin like 7-0?
He's 7-0, but I faced him in the first game of the season. He only beat me by 8 points, Nate. He only had me by, so he ain't dominating.
What's the score now, Ray? What's the score right now?
So let me pull it up, because I tried to pull it up on the computer. It won't let me. So let me pull it up on my phone.
Man, Martin Bushby, reigning league champion Martin Bushby.
Indeed. Like he's been keeping up. All right, so he is in the league 202 to 183.
Okay.
He still has 2 players to play tonight. Sarah Ashley Barker, and yeah, she looks how that name sounds. Ashley with 2 E's. All right, so I don't think she. Well, let's see. She averages 21.8 fantasy points. So
she decent.
She might do something. And then we got Megan Gustafson. Again, sounds like you would imagine, but 19.7 points. And they talk, you wanted me to change my name to the Milkmaids. This brother Martin. All right. So yeah, he's got Sarah Ashley Barker to come up to play. He's got Megan Gustafson, and he's got Ezzy Magbega. And she has 15. She's averaging 15 fantasy points. So I only had 2 players because I was silly. I traded I didn't trade. I dropped Nas Hillman, even though she was playing. I should have kept her and then dropped her for tomorrow, but I wasn't thinking like that. But I had my girl Janelle Salon and Kia Stokes, both from the Valkyries. So Janelle Salon, she scored 19 fantasy points, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 1 3-pointer made, or 3 3-pointers made. So, and that's another thing. I didn't know that you get extra points for 3-pointers. So I was like, all right. And then, like I said, Kia Stokes, she was all around, like spreading out the stat sheet. So she had 5 regular points, 2 blocks, 3 steals, like I mentioned, 1 assist, 7 rebounds, and 1 3-pointer made. So she got 24 fantasy points altogether. So I knew today I'm probably going to get blown out a little bit today. Ejectocito, cuz. But tomorrow,
I was gonna make a Sophie Cunningham joke there, but I'm refraining, Ray. I'm refraining.
But tomorrow I have 5 players playing to Martin's 1 player playing. And that's where I have my fever duo of Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell playing, as well as Isabel Harrison, who's been cooking for the Toronto Tempo. She's been cooking, averaging. That's another sneaky pick that I saw she was available. I was like, oh, let me go ahead and pick her.
No,
I think I drafted her.
When you talking about cooking, Ray, I think that may have been my biggest mistake this season.
So, yeah, you
A
let me talk all
blockbuster
the-
trade.
Uh-oh.
Blockbuster trade. We sent Marina Mabry to Steve Willie, and Steve
Oh.
Willie is currently second in the league right now.
See? And this was before she had her 53-point game.
It was like 2 weeks before she started going off.
Goodness.
And like, damn. Well, the reason we had to trade her, Ray, she kept going on streams talking about the franchise. Her and Caitlin didn't see eye to eye, so I tried to get what I could. At least I got more back than the Celtics did when they traded Jaylen Brown.
She was filling up the crash out jar.
Yeah, the crash out jar was full. I was like, you know what, Marina, you need to leave.
You need to leave. All right, but yeah, all right. Well, before I go on about my team, but Charles Durham, 1972. He's a frequent contributor to the chat. Thank you, Charles. Paige is that deal. Yes, Paige is everything people think Caitlin is. That's what I'm saying, Charles. That's what I'm saying.
Shout out to Uncle Niecy Paige Beckers.
Yes, shout out. But yeah, so
look like your niece dresses like your uncle. Uncle Niecy.
Uncle Niecy. Like Big Wool, both your father and your daddy, or your uncle and your daddy. So Kelsey Mitchell, Leah Boston, Isabel Harrison. Then I got Laura Just Kate. She's decent off the bench. 18 averages 18 fantasy points. And then I've just picked up another Fever player, not Sophie Cunningham.
Lexi Ho.
Monique Billings.
Okay. You picking up a lot of Fever players, right? You picking up.
Well, I only picked
secretly a Fever fan.
I only picked her up because I needed one more person who was playing on Sunday. So I was like, I was checking out all the teams who were playing, and then I was trying to see who had like as far as those that were available, which teams were playing on Sunday, and then who were the best from the teams that were playing on Sunday, because I think it's Fever are playing the Aces, Tempo are playing the Wings, and I think that's it. So from those 4 teams, I was trying to see who had the highest scoring people, or the highest scoring players out of those who are still available for free agency. So I was trying to make something happen. So
interesting season so far, Ray, because your boy, I don't know what's going on with your man Justin out here.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like him and poor Mama Shark, Vanessa Shark. It's like, are they even checking? Because it's like,
at least Vanessa got a win. I don't think Justin's got a dub all season.
But that's the thing. She got her only win over Justin. Like, Justin is the streak buster. Like if I'm feeling down, and like, well, at least I'm about to play Justin.
Justin, like when you schedule Prairie View FAMU for homecoming,
right?
We need that easy dub, fam. We need that easy dub.
Yeah. So, I'm like, I'm hoping.
Arguably the most knowledgeable of all of us.
Yeah, I think he's probably been busy with all the.
He's like, I'm covering all these trades. What do you want me to do, Ray?
What?
I ain't got time to set my lineup.
You just gotta just push it on Sunday. Just push quick lineup on Monday, brother.
Right?
That's
just quick lineup.
One day. It's unless somebody get hurt like in the middle of the week or something, you straight.
Just quick lineup, just your best friend.
It really is. And that's another reason why I'm off to a decent start. Like every Monday, I'm like, let me get on this quick lineup.
So that's all I've been doing, Ray. Like outside of the trade that I made with Steve, I just been hitting the quick lineup. And for the most part, like I said, man, I'm like right behind you in the standings, but it's like right. I'm still in the hunt.
Yeah, but like I said, like you had somebody. Who did you have who was on IR, who was healthy during our game? Let me go back. Let me see league. Let me pull this again. I wish I could pull it up on. Let me look at the schedule. I wish I could pull it All right, so
I got to keep my players on a minutes restriction, Ray. We keep them healthy for the playoffs.
all right, let me see. Keep them healthy for the play.
She was
All
like,
right,
but I'm a healthy coach.
So let me see. I'm gonna go back to the start of it. All right, so Monday. All right, I won that day, 140 to 105. But you had Dewana Bonner scored 13 on the bench. Jordan Canada had 31 on the bench. Your girl Okot from
Medina.
South Carolina, Medina Okot, now part of the Dream. She had 25 points on the bench. And then this girl, Maddie Segrist.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my diversity hire.
Your diversity. Your one milkmaid.
Her and Caitlin. That's my two diversity hires.
But yeah, so that was what 40, 53, 78 points you had sitting on the bench, brother. On that
blew
Monday.
your ass out, Ray. Ejectocito, cuz.
You play too much. And then again, but I think, you could still, let me see. Could you have gotten them all in? All right. So on that Wednesday, I ended up, my starters beat your starters 200 to 102. But on your bench, you had Dewana Bonner scored 30 points. Jordan Canada scored 19 points. Medina Okot scored 27 points. So right there could have been another shift. What 46, 76? You could have been a lot closer. And then let me see. So I'm telling you this now. So fix your roster now.
Right.
Be
now
whoever you playing now. Now you got me on Thursday because your two players, Jonquil Jones. Oh, I miss her. She's a beast. Jonquil and Nneka Ngumuke, or as I refer to her, just Chanae's sister.
The disrespect.
They scored combined just by themselves.
I think Nneka was the player I got back from Marina.
Oh, okay. So that was a decent pickup there. But those two by themselves scored 77, and that beat the three players that I had.
Damn.
I had Pauline Astier. She's decent. I think she's backing up Sabrina over on Liberty. And then Isabel Harrison, she had 22, and then Just Kate had 26. So yeah, just Jonquil and Nneka by themselves outscored three of my players, but those were like
what it's time to do, Ray. We could talk about this because the other fellas ain't listening right now. They celebrating the 4th. We need to hit up Vanessa and Justin and raid their teams, cuz.
You saying do what to their teams?
Hit up Vanessa and Justin and raid their teams. Just trade for their best players.
Oh yeah, we should. I think so. Because
the only problem is they probably haven't even checked their lineup, so they ain't even on the app. So the trade request just sitting.
Like I don't care as long as you and me make like because I think it's Jay and Martin got the top 2 spots. I ain't worried about them. They're going to say as long as you and me make because I think it's 4 teams that make the playoffs. Right?
4 teams make the playoffs.
As long as you make
look. So right now Steve is up there with him too because of Marina.
Oh yeah, Steve is up there with him.
So we got to take Jay out. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah, we got to take you out. But the Friday, you had Jordan Canada. Well, it was close. You got me by a point with the starters, so 84 to 83. But then you had Jordan Canada on the bench. She scored 37. Okot had 13, so that would have been a 50-point swing. And then Saturday? Get Citron out there. All right, so Saturday, I won 129 to 68, but Dewana Bonner on your bench, 36. Canada, 24. That's 60 points right there. And then Okot had 11. So I'm giving you all this now. So yeah, you and I, we gonna be 3 and 4. We're gonna get Jay. He'll be all right. And then that last
Jay
day,
Lacey, we coming for you.
that last day I won 166-97, and then the only person you had on the bench that was playing was Segrist, and she had 19 points. So
Okay.
it would have been close.
Hey, good game, Ray.
Closer.
Good game, brother.
It was good game. It would have been a lot closer. So yeah, let me see.
You know, I had to rest Jordan for the playoffs, man.
Rest Jordan. Well, like you said, we got to raid. Mama Shark and Justin and JG.
Like, look here, Justin. Come on, brother. You ain't going nowhere, man.
Right. You might as well.
Don't you want your players to be happy and win somewhere else, Justin?
Right. So Vanessa got Paige. Vanessa got Alicia Gray. Whew. She got Chelsea Gray too. Then that's pretty much it. Like, Maisha Hines Allen, Courtney Vandersloot, like you said.
Damn, ain't no team with Sloot winning this year.
Veronica Burton. I don't even know who that is.
She work in the PR office.
Yeah. Brianna Jones from the Dream. But she out.
Okay.
Azura Stevens. I think I heard of that name.
She plays on the Sky.
But yeah, talk about somebody who already out, who need to be rated. And then Anissa Morrow.
Okay.
But yeah, we know her top two, Paige and Alicia. And then let me scope out JG. JG got Enrique OG.
Okay.
Big OG, big homie OG. And then Odyssey Sims, but like, who's this? Bridget Carleton.
Okay.
She's respectable, 25. Because all these players for the expansion teams, like I got no clue who they is,
right?
Except for Marina. But she played for the Fire.
Yeah, Bridget Carlton. She was a backup, I want to say, with the Lynx last year.
Oh, all right. Natasha Howard. She's big time.
Okay.
30, average is 33 fantasy points. Elizabeth Williams, a true OG in the game, 14 points for the Sky. Derica Hamby.
Okay.
She's all right. And Isaiah James. Let's see, anybody else? Oh, that's who he had Azzy Fudd on his squad, but she hasn't been making too much noise.
Nah, she's still trying to find her place in the league. I think she's gonna be good though.
And then he got the nerve to have Haley Van Lift. That's how you know he ain't checking.
Like, who's Haley with now? Is she with Portland?
Let me see. Connecticut.
Oh damn. She done bounced around a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the Sky Cutter, and then I can't remember if she signed with anybody before Connecticut, but yeah, Haley had a rough little career so far. But you're gonna keep your head up, Haley.
Keep your head up, HVL. All right, but yeah, so like I said, we could scavenge Paige and Alicia from Vanessa, and then probably Enrique, Carlton. Since you know you're aware of Carlton, I'll take Natasha Howard. So yeah, we could definitely make some moves happen with us going into like the second half of our fantasy season. But was there? I spend all my time talking about my team. What about your team? But besides the trade, which it was a decent trade, you didn't get, like you said, you didn't get fleeced like
right.
Did. But how's your season been going?
After we got rid of the malcontent known as Marina Mabry. The locker room cancer, Marina Mabry. And you look, if I was Brad Stevens, this is what I would have did if I was Brad Stevens. Like, hey, Jalen, Jason made me do this. It wasn't, I ain't want to do it, dog. like Marina, if you listening, I ain't want to trade you, but CC was like, hey, it's my team, dog. This team ain't named after Marina Mabry. Get her ass out of here. I was like, yes, ma'am, Caitlin. You got to cater to the superstars, right? But yeah, I think with CC being hurt kind of messes things up a little bit because you get some good point production, not just with the points, but with the assists from Caitlin and the 3-pointers. I think that's when I was eating early in the season off of Caitlin with the 3-pointers. But I like Aneka. I like Neka being on the squad. I got a decent squad, like a well-rounded squad, like Jordan Canada, like you said. Now that she's healthy, I had to leave on the bench during our game, Ray. But now that Jordan is healthy, like Jordan Canada been doing a thing. Like this dream team is fun. I wanted to get Angel during the draft, but she was already off the board by the time my second pick came around.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Jordan Canada is a good pick, good player. And then we know DeWanna Bonner, she be doing a thing. So like I got a squad, Ray.
You do. They're like I was saying, like you just be having them on the bench, but you playing JG, so you ain't got to worry about.
Right. I can leave everybody on the bench.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you got to worry about
how
that.
did I win that? I won the game. I didn't start anybody. I still won by 2.
You still.
How did this happen? Look, whenever you have a tough loss and you see JG on your schedule, that's when the team get hyped.
That's what I'm saying. The slump buster, boy.
The slump buster.
Thank you, JG. Oh,
JG will get you right now. But now I'm excited, man. It's gonna be a fun little rest of the season in the fantasy league, and then of course we are gonna do the another live watch for the All-Star game when All-Star rolls around, because that was fun last year. Maybe Vanessa can even join us. I know she's busy, but maybe she'll have some time for us for the All-Star game, and we can get JG on to talk about his terrible team. I am going to be on Hoopsology at some point this summer. JG's already thrown out the invite. We just got to match up schedules, and that's going to be the first question I'm going to ask him. Like, he's going to be like, Nate, what do you think about LeBron going to – because I'm sure LeBron will have made his choice by then, his decision, if you will, right? And I'll be like – he'll be like, what do you think about LeBron's decision? And I'll be like, first of all, what decisions were you making with your terrible fantasy team?
And tell him, don't take it seriously now. Don't be like Ray from last year and take it seriously and go on a run. Don't be like that.
Don't be like Ray.
L's.
Ray sitting at 1-5. Then he want to start playing. I'm gonna try hard now, fellas. I finally figured it out.
Man, I just started knowing how to play the game like 6 weeks in the game. I was like, oh, that's what you do.
So that's what the auto lineup is for. I just click this button and then it puts in all the players that can start.
And then I'm dragging Cameron Brink along. She got hurt again. Like, I ain't taking no chance on you, Cameron, next year. I took a chance these last 2 years.
That's lady street clothes.
Exactly. Pretty much.
Damn. Yeah. You hate to see it, man, because when she healthy, she's a good player.
Yeah, she is. That's why I keep picking up. Like, I keep having faith, just like with the Raiders with Darren McFadden. Just keep it's gonna turn around one of these days.
If Greg Oden can just stay healthy, he'd be an all-star.
Right. They're like we were talking about Kawhi Leonard. If they just stay healthy,
Greg Oden's knee is like, that ain't gonna work for me, brother.
Doggone Cameron Brink, and I was part of Brink's security. Now the security, now the doggone the touchpad blinking because the battery running low.
Ray is like, I brought the Brink security T-shirt.
Nobody showing up, nobody picking up when I actually have an emergency. Somebody actually break through the alarm and nobody picking up the phone. Come on now, Brinks.
I hope she can get right.
I hope so too. I think she's still young, but yeah, it's just for her to be that big. Like, I think it does come down to the maintenance, especially with your body being that big. Like, cause she like what 6'7", 6?
6'7".
I set myself up.
You set yourself up for that one, Ray.
Yeah, but she's really tall, especially for
she's tall,
for
but
her
she's
build.
also not. Yeah, she's got like a slight frame.
Yeah. So,
and it's a physical league, as we've said multiple times.
Indeed. So she might get go on that Michael Jordan Detroit Pistons program.
Or she got to go to White Mamba boot camp.
Coming so to CB to Oxygen.
Coming up next, Cam Brink. Byron Allen, he'll be the host. He'll be the host of White Mamba camp.
White Mamba.
DT, what are we gonna do this week? Go ahead, book it, CBS.
Book it.
Like Haley Van Lith, how did you get here? I just kept walking, and eventually I just ended here at White Mamba boot camp.
Just kept walking.
The winner of White Mamba boot camp gets to go to like the Aces or the Liberty or the Lynx or the Dream. The loser of White Mamba boot camp has to go to Connecticut.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say Connecticut. As long as they're still there.
Yes, but until they go to Houston.
Houston, right? But yeah, I think, like you said, I think you and I, if we could get in that top 4, then we'll be all right. But we know
it's like going down, Jay Lacey. It's going down, brother.
Yeah. I think we know the Hammers, like you said, Steve made tremendous leaps in like I said, I think there's a chink in the armor with Martin. Even though he's undefeated, there's a chink. Like I said, I only lost to him by 8.
Martin trying to go back to back, Ray.
And I think I could get him. I think I could get him tomorrow. I think I should get up on him. So
and somewhere Martin's sitting laughing in his house right now. Oh, Ray, you're so silly, my friend.
Yeah,
and he just signed somebody for free agency that gives him 40 points.
I will be the 1-7-1, brother. You're going down. But yeah,
I'm like Thanos, mate. I'm inevitable.
Like those two at the top, and then you, me, and Jay, like in that middle area. Kind of like it's kind of like the Western Conference, and the MNBA with 3 through 6. Is like they could go in any order.
Right, and then we got Vanessa and JG in the cellar.
Mm-hmm.
And Brandon from New Jersey is somewhere in there. I think he's
he's just below like us 3. Like he's just below, like just hanging around. But yeah, because I think he's probably 3 and 4 too.
Yeah, I think he's 3 and 4, but in the way they got the rankings, it's you, me, then Brandon.
He's 2 and 5. He lost 4 in a row.
Damn, 4 in a row?
But he up another slump buster. He up on Vanessa. I know.
Damn. So Vanessa's like the sky, and JG is the sun. Like damn.
It's like those two is like when I saw them play it, like going against each other, I was like, someone's O must go. Like someone's O must go. And it just happened to be Vanessa on that right week.
I'm glad it was Vanessa, because like we can't have because I think she finished last year.
Yeah,
the only woman in the league can't finish last twice.
WNBA. Yeah, we can't do that.
So Justin had to bite the bullet on this one. But yes, that is our WNBA talk, man. A fun season.
Indeed.
Controversy is always in the W, but I'm looking forward to the All-Star break, Ray.
Yeah, same here. Like I said, they will be playing on July 25th. So definitely going to be tuning in. Like you mentioned, we're definitely going to run it back with that All-Star game watch, that live watch, and as well, I don't know. See, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it around you because then you
Go ahead. Do it. Draft yourself into another live show, right? Go ahead, do it, player.
I don't know. All-Star Saturday night. I don't know. We'll see.
Go ahead, Ray.
We'll
So, Ray,
see.
you heard it here first, folks.
Nope.
WNBA All-Star Saturday night, brought to you by the Nefarious Media Network. Sign up to Patreon so you can join us on the live stream hosted by none other than Two-Way Ray Williams.
We'll see. We'll see how I feel. It's still, well, we got like 3 weeks. We'll see how I feel. We'll see how. That All-Star Friday night it would be, because I think the game is on Saturday. So.
Okay, Friday night, Ray. That's what I'm talking about. That's gonna be a good show. I can't wait to watch it. All-Star Friday night.
Watch it and not be a part and not join.
I'll send you a comment in the chat. Like, great job, Ray.
Watch for like the first 30 minutes.
Like, you doing a great job, Ray. Keep it up, brother.
I appreciate that. I'm pretty sure I'll probably be the only one here too.
just be you and Martin Bushby may show up after he defeats you.
Nope.
I'm here to join the live watch, Ray.
We're supposed to be together. It's supposed to be you and me, man. We're trying to make it 3 and 4.
We trying to create history here. But hey, you know what, Ray? Look, I'm rooting for you, Ray. I'm rooting for you. It's just, I already put down $20 on Martin Bushby on DraftKings, man. He a beast right now.
Don't be like Malik Beasley.
The head coach of Nate's fantasy WNBA team, Chauncey Billups, has been indicted again.
Again?
Like, damn, Tiago Splitter, come on, dog. You got to coach now, Tiago. All the time I have to follow the Chauncey.
Did you see that man Malik Beasley? He online talking about, please keep me prayed up, y'all. Keep me lifted.
He already know what's coming. He gonna be in jail for a long time.
He gonna be lifting you up in the jail. Like
the next time he might get some fresh air will be at the next centennial, Ray Williams.
He gonna be. Oh no, don't do that too.
Like, hey, Malik Beasley, you free so you can celebrate America 300. King Trump has given you a pardon.
King Trump.
Like, damn, I don't like this timeline, Ray.
I don't like it. Will Trump make it? I doubt Trump will make it, unless we're talking about one of his boys.
I mean, shoot, he might
go in the family.
He's like, I'm gonna put my brain in Eric's body. I'll always be around, but with the new body. I asked Ivanka, but she said no. She didn't want to do it. But anyway, Ray, let's stop talking about this terrible man and JG's terrible fantasy team, and let's wrap things up for this edition of the Kings of Sport, man. The 4th of July edition of the world's most dangerous sportscast. Any final thoughts, Ray? Anything you want to say about America before we get out of here?
All right. Well, happy birthday, America. America. Yeah. Happy birthday. Like I said, we can still, just because we might have some critiques of it, does not mean we don't want to see our country succeed. It just means we want to see it do better, y'all. So for those in the chat, keep your Twitter fingers to yourself. But yeah, always a pleasure talking with you, brother Nate. But yeah, it's just we're all united. We're all united in this country and on this planet, especially when it comes to the World Cup being concerned. We're all one planet. So we're all one world. As the Black Eyed Peas once said. So let's stay united and forever digital media. Forever. Digital media forever. I don't care what you say, PlayStation.
We were supposed to talk games. So real quick, Ray, on this topic, the news about PlayStation going strictly digital in 2028. What do you think about that, brother?
Yeah, I had conflicted feelings for on the one hand, like I don't even have a PlayStation 5. Like I know you do. You talk about I don't even have a PlayStation 5 like that. I'm still on the PS4, and we talked like as we were preparing for the show today, like I usually wait for the next generation to hit before I get the current gen. So I was waiting on, like you were saying, waiting on the P7 before getting the P6. Like I was waiting I was waiting until the P6 come out before I got the P5. But now things are going on as far as the cost it takes to even build the systems, and then for the first time in the history of the industry, instead of the prices going down on consoles, the prices are going up on consoles over time instead of decreasing over time. So for one part, like that sucks as far as digital media pretty much taking over for like the current and future generations. But on the other hand, like I'm on this retro game trip because I still got my discs, and I know I know that things are probably going to go up, especially when it comes to the value of PlayStation games from 1 through 4. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep my games until 2028, and then I'm retiring.
You know, hey Ray, hey, if you're interested, I got a copy of Altered Beast. I'll sell you for a quick $100.
No, I'm good on Altered Beast. On the Sega, nah. On the Genesis, nah, I'm good. And that's another thing too, because I'm glad that, because like I said, I do retro stuff, but I also, and I love that they did come out with this when they did, but they had like the classic systems on the mini systems where they had like these mini versions of the retro consoles, but instead of using like actual software, like the actual games to put in it, like they just pretty much had a chip installed to where they had, like I think Nintendo had like 30 games on it, like the Nintendo Classic, the NES Classic, the SNES Classic had like 21 games on it. And then if you know somebody, and you could get those chips and you could get those things, you could get those modded to where you can get even more games added. Just make sure you own your games, own the games that you put on there. That as long you hear me telling Nintendo, y'all hear me? I said own the games that you have uploaded and modded on your mini consoles.
Keep playing, Kojima gonna be at your door, cuz.
Exactly. and then Sega had one, and I actually have the Sega one too. So I think I got Altered Beast all covered, brother. I think you can find another good customer to sell that too.
Hey man, I got this Banjo Kazooie in the trunk, cuz.
I think that'll probably go up. I know that's always been a good one.
This Crash Bandicoot, it ain't gonna sell itself, right?
Doggone Diddy Kong Racing, and not the bad Diddy.
I was gonna say, like Poe went out for Diddy Kong, man. He messed up his whole flow now. He can't even be Diddy Kong no more.
Right? It's so many people that get messed up by just the wrong person having like your similar nickname or your similar name, like last name. Like,
man, why did all this baby oil come with the cartridge? That don't make no sense. Is it to clean it? Is it the system need to get lubricated? Why is so much baby oil come with Diddy Kong Racing?
Right, like, and as nice as I hear about this particular gentleman, like Chris Benoit's surviving son is like, ain't no way you getting a job. And I know you nice, brother. I know you. I see you on Instagram a lot. You seem like a very tremendous young man, but you ain't never working in these streets for pro wrestling.
Gotta change your name, brother.
Chris Wolverine or something.
And he gonna get sued by Marvel.
Oh, that is true. That is.
Speaking of Marvel, I got this Capcom Avengers game, Ray, only $25.99, brother.
Marvel versus Capcom 2. I know you want to play it.
Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ray, only $30. It's my Juneteenth special.
Yeah, I would have took you up on, especially Miles. He a part of the revolution. Oh man! But how
I got an exclusive copy of GTA 7, Ray, only $700, man.
GTA 7. That reminds me. This goes way back, but this go way back. But when I was younger and I had like my godmother, of course, I'm sure you're aware that sometimes if you're in the movie theater, you want to go see a movie, you could go to the movie theater back in the 90s and the 2000s. But this was prior to streaming and prior to movies being available right away on cable or being available right away on like basic cable or even like premium cable. Like it took like at least 8 months for a movie to get from the theaters to television, at least 8 months. But there was your handy dandy businessman who would be on the corner with some DVDs or or some videotapes of movies that were out now in theaters, CDs, DVDs. So it was this one time. I think this was back. I want to say this was back when Scream 2 came out.
Okay.
It was like only a few months after Scream 2 came out. And then, no, I think it was maybe a few months after Scream 3 came out. And then all of a sudden, somebody had, I see this box in the living room of my godmother's house, and it got Scream 4 on it. Like, Scream 4? They just came out with Scream 3? What you talking about? I'll put the DVD in, just static. Just ain't even a movie. No, it ain't even like a different movie. It's just static. And then Scream 4 didn't end up coming out until like 10 years later.
Damn.
I was like, well, it finally came
Granny
around.
got.
But that's what I'm saying with you in the GTA 7. It's like, wait a minute.
It ain't even out yet, Ray. I got the exclusive.
The exclusive.
You got to wait till PS7 come out, then you can play it.
Like, but the PS7 ain't even going to have a disc drive. You got the disc before the disc drive.
So don't worry about it. It's an external it's an external part. Yeah, that GTA 7 cuz.
I got the PS7 before as well, so I could sell you the system and the game together.
Right. It only come with one controller though, Ray. Only come with one controller.
One controller. It's gonna be a PS4 and a PS3 duct taped together. Yep.
Got that game station. Like, you mean GameCube or PlayStation? No, that game station.
The game station. Or like I was Josh and Drake or Drake and Josh are like the game sphere. It's not a cube, but it's a sphere.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy because like you said, Ray, that we both like physical media. But you know, it is kind of, my thing is, if you're gonna do this, you need to bring the prices down.
Yeah.
You can't still be charging $75, $80 for a game if it's just something that I could download.
But that's the thing too, is like now you're taking away, and I've been hearing rumblings of some people who've already kind of made the switch fully to digital, and they're like, well, y'all just got to keep up with the times. So it's like, it's gonna hurt you guys too, because now PlayStation is pretty much gonna have everything on their store, and they're not gonna have any competition to hold them accountable to keep prices low. So now because you already see with some of these digital stores, it's like games that came out 3-4 years ago are still at full price, where you
Right.
could go to Walmart and get a game for like $20. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so like I was just looking at it too. Like, I just got yesterday, I just went to the Walmart and I saw they had Spyro Reignited Trilogy for like
Okay.
$20. And then
Okay.
they had the first 3 Tomb Raider games remastered
Okay.
um
Okay.
for $20. And then
Okay.
I went on Nintendo, like Nintendo store website. They still got Spyro up for like $49.99
Damn.
digital. Like, I ain't even getting the cartridge and you want you
Right.
try to sell it full price. So it's like you won't have that competition to keep, and they already getting sued. Like PlayStation already getting, oh Lord,
Mm-hmm.
they already
Kojima.
yeah, I'm not gonna the Nintendo ninjas coming down on me. But like they already getting sued because they're doing stuff on they're doing stuff on the store that they shouldn't be doing, like trying to sell things for higher prices and try to cut out the middleman early on different things, and they already getting sued. So it's like this isn't going to do them any favors. But
No.
like I said, I'm staying retro. I still got, like some of the YouTubers that I watch said, like I still got enough games that can last me. Like I could play them for the rest of my life. And I could be okay. I don't have to play any new games. So I'm already out of, like, I'm already not getting the PS6, so they ain't got to
Right.
worry about me. But I think it's gonna take the rest of everybody to, like, instead of getting mad online and downvoting the official post of this on PlayStation's website, like, in addition to doing that, like, their PlayStation isn't going to listen unless you vote with your dollars. And if they do make, like I said, because they also announced, in addition to not producing disc-based content in 2028, they're also shutting down the PlayStation 3 and PS Vita stores
Mm-hmm.
in starting for different countries starting next month, and then going into September, and then for the remaining countries, they're going to start shutting down those stores by the end of January next year. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I already got the stuff that I need, but you got to vote with your dollars. It's like, show them, like, all right, we're not only going to harass you online, but we're also, it's got to be a good number, because I think it's a loud minority, a vocal minority that's coming out against this.
Yeah.
I think it's like 20%, maybe 30% of folks who are a part of the ecosystem of PlayStation who like their digital and want to stay digital. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that could still be, if you take out that 30 to 40% and they say, all right, well, I'm not buying the PS6 when it comes out, because I
Yeah.
think they're aiming for that PS6 to come out in 2028 as well. So they'll just be like, all right, I'm just sticking with the PS5 because that's the last one that you have. And then you're gonna have to keep supplying the PS5. Um, I know they'll probably, and then people will probably not be committed to buying digital on the PS5 anymore. So they'll just stick with the games that they have and they'll just play those games. And so I don't think PlayStation has thought this all the way through. I think if they do end up changing their minds on specific things, like, we as consumers still need to keep their foot on their neck, because they tried this with the PS 3 store and with the PS Vita store back in 2021, and
Mm-hmm.
after like a loud outcry, they they kept it running, but like little by little they were stripping the contents of the actual storefronts for those systems, to where it's like pretty much bare bones, like you could barely search for anything on those. So I think we as consumers just got to vote with our wallet, and we got to make some uncomfortable choices when it comes to gaming and sticking with things. And of course, like on the other hand, I think there's a company that just announced a few months ago that they're bringing back the Neo Geo AES, and that's going to be like a fraction of what, like, they're bringing back. It's not going to be like a mini console. It's going to be like a 1-to-1 recreation of the official console that can play the old games, and they're also releasing like second copies of all the games that people love too, at a fraction of the prices that they're at right now. So I think there is a want for physical media still, even though PlayStation are like, oh well, it's changing trends, and 85% of our gamers who are involved in our ecosystem are mainly going digital, and only 15% of them are getting physical media. Well, that doesn't take into account all the games that are on your digital storefront that are not available in physical form, because it takes like people actually, like different companies like Limited Run Games, for better or for worse, wanting to put these things out on physical formats. So you're not taking into account that, and then you're not taking away all the games that are digital only, and then only focusing on those that are available on both platforms, and then seeing what the percentages is from that. You're not doing that. You're just taking it as a whole, but those numbers could be skewed. So I think PlayStation, Tony from Sony,
Tony Khan running Sony now.
Tony Khan, right? Sony's, I don't think this is a wise decision, but even if they do back away from it, like, consumers still need to wield the power that they have in their pocketbooks and in their wallets. So,
you know, I'm probably gonna stick on this PS5 for a minute, Ray. I ain't getting the PS6, but you know what? Whenever you do join the PS5 family, Ray Williams, I got a copy of Final Fantasy VII reimagined, rebooted, re-uploaded, remixed, revolutionized, that I'm gonna sell you, Ray. It's like 17 discs in the box for Final Fantasy VII, but they call it Final Fantasy VII Triple R plus 2 more R's, and it's only $189 for the whole set, Ray. That's a steal. Ain't just a deal, that's a steal, Ray.
Well, I may once I get the PS6 for the tricentennial, I'll hit you up.
You know, that Final Fantasy on the tricentennial gonna go hard, Ray.
I bet. I'm gonna be 90, be like, boy, I can't believe I stayed alive.
Graphics are so realistic.
Like they reaching out the TV.
You ain't seen a Sephiroth. You've seen him come through the TV screen, right?
Right.
You don't know nothing about that, Ray.
Like, it's gonna be like 16K by the time I get HD. Like, good Lord.
But hey, audience, if you like this, stay tuned, because one of these months we're gonna make an announcement, and Ray Williams gonna put you on game. Okay.
Indeed. Matter of fact, that day might come sooner than you think. I'm already making moves in the background to see if I could have my own separate channel, and that way it will be streaming from that particular channel. But
you're gonna be Twitch stream with Jaylen Brown.
We'll see. I'll offer him on, but have him and Diana Taurasi, and we see.
See if we can get Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the same stream.
Exactly. I'm bringing people together. Mark K 7991 says, my last console was a Genesis. Does this affect me getting another Sonic? No, I think you. Well, they have been they have been doing like Sonic games on like the disc-based systems, but I think if you still got the Genesis, I think you're good. I think
Just get a copy of Evander Holyfield Real Deal Boxing UBI, man.
yeah, because I think they had what they had Sonic's 1, 2, 3, and then Sonic and Knuckles on the Genesis. And then
and the Sonic and Knuckles Genesis cartridge was wild because one side of the cartridge was Sonic, the other side was Knuckles. And depending on what side you put in the system, it was a different game, Ray. Slightly different, but still different.
Still different. And I think they had the little thing that they had like a little thing on top where you can actually plug in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 into the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge, and then you could play as Knuckles on Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
But ain't nobody want to play as Tails. Tails was a punk. Tails
like,
was a
stay
punk.
on the ground.
Stay on the ground, Tails. But that's going to bring an end to another edition of the Kings of Sport. Ray Williams. We done gave him a little taste, a little teaser of Put You On Game, which will be debuting at some point this year. It'll definitely be out before the Tricentennial.
Indeed.
But Ray, where can people find you if they want to flood your mentions with video game comments and questions? Maybe if Kojima want to get at you, I just want to talk, Ray. I just want to talk. Where can people find you on these streets, my friend?
All right. Well, as always, you can find me right here on Nefarious Media Network, on all of our social media platforms, as well as right here on the YouTube as well. I wasn't a part of it, but these two brothers, Jay and Gerard, they have an episode of Ring Theory coming up. It should already be out in your feeds if you follow us on any of our podcasting or YouTube platforms. So go ahead and check out that episode where they cover AEW Forbidden Door, which Jay was in person and he was able to be as brother Nate likes to reference Hamilton. He was there in the room where it happened. So he was able to check out that tremendous show and also be a part of the press corps during the post-show press conference. So he's just sharing his experiences while being there alongside the good doctor Chris Ely in person at Forbidden Door. And then they also reviewed Night of Champions and they theorized about the direction that both AEW and WWE are going right now as we hit the mid-year point. So go ahead, check those brothers out. If you weren't able, well, I don't think they did it live. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. It's through our recording anywhere that you can find your podcast. And yeah, like I said, you can find me here, whether it be King of Sport, whether it be Styles Break Fights, which we had an episode come out from last month detailing everything from UFC Freedom 250. As Brother Nate mentioned, I was there in the place where it happens.
Old red hat Ray with his Maha hat on.
Maha, make America good again, y'all. But yeah, we discussed the political ramifications again with the good brother, the good doctor Chris Ely on that particular episode. So check that out as well. And personally, you can find me on Instagram at Mondo Dondo 1, MONDO DONDO number 1. You can also find me on BlueSky at 2-Way Ray.
Okay. Good stuff, Ray Williams. For me, as Ray said, man, follow all of us on the socials, man. IG, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, BlueSky, Threads, Facebook. Just search Nefarious Media Network. You're going to find us there. For me personally, in the number 8 MOZAIK at Nate Mosaic is where you can find me online. Nate Mosaic 757 on BlueSky, and Black Nate BLAQUE _ in the number 8 over at Instagram. Appreciate everybody who took some time out this 4th of July to hang out with the Kings and talk about a crazy start to the NBA free agency season. Talk a little WNBA, and then finished it all off by talking about some video games. So it's been a good show, Ray. Appreciate you hanging out, brother. If y'all want to hear more from us, in addition to our social media channels, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Nefarious Media Network. $3, Ray. $3 gets you in the door. You can't even buy no good fireworks for $3 these days, man. $3 gets you in the door for over 300 hours of audio and video content, featuring exclusive shows like Kung Fu Island, like the Avengers Initiative, like the entire library, the entire archive of Keep It 100 with me and Brian Mann from back in the day. So a lot of good stuff on there, and we've got exclusives like the Trip Rogers interview that Jay Lacey did recently. So check out the Patreon if you are so inclined. We appreciate it. And with that, Ray Williams, we're going to bring an end to another edition of the Kings of Sport podcast. So appreciate everybody who checked us out, man. Have a safe and happy holiday weekend. Don't be like these knuckleheads staying up late playing America's favorite game, fireworks or gunshots. Which one was it? Which one? I can't quite put my finger on that sound. I'm not sure. But yes, stay home, particularly if you live on the East Coast. It's hot as hell, so you ain't got no reason to be outside, no way. But have fun, man. And we'll catch you guys again next week for more from us here at the Nefarious Media Network. So, for two-way Ray Williams, old red, white, and blue Ray is what they call him on these streets. I am the Godfather, Nate Milton. Happy birthday, America. You funky ass heifer. May freedom ring. I don't think anybody's ever called America a funky ass heifer in the history of politics or pop culture. But we did it. You heard it here first. She's a funky ass heifer, but she's our funky ass heifer. God bless you, America. Because you've been down with the Kings.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?